You even know Steve. Who the hell are you, Mewbai? You can call me the enigmatic man. After speaking, he snapped his fingers and quickly possessed the MI team armor. Want to dig Steve together? Dig Steve? You know where Steve's body is? He's been dead for 6 or 70 years. Actually, Steve didn't die, but was frozen in the North Pole. Your words made Natasha Romanoff frown. She doesn't think you are lying, and there is no need to lie with your strength. But Natasha Romanoff will definitely be surprised if he can bring back the intact Steve. Time Lord plus 200, current Time Lord, 760, crit. Popularity dial plus 10x2, current popularity dial, 800. Popular turntable reaches 800, the maximum number of activations, and the maximum number of lucky draws per day is 400. Super crit, God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 660. Leave some suspense. Mewbai flew out of the villa in the new armor. In the next second, people appeared in the icy and snowy North Pole. At the moment, the weather in the Arctic is not ideal. The wind blows snow powder everywhere. Visibility is almost zero. Not to mention people, even polar bears can be blown away. But Mewbai ignored the oncoming wind. Vision opened. The view ahead is unobstructed. Soon he saw Steve in the iceberg like a relic. A faint blue flame was ignited in the right hand. Throw it over Steve. The iceberg more than 10 meters thick was instantly melted. In this regard, I also deliberately left 1 meter thick ice cubes to keep Steve fresh. Steve met again. You are much more handsome than in the movie, but not as handsome as your brother. Finished sizing up Steve in the ice. Mewbai took him back to the villa. Put Steve's ice cubes in the most prominent place in the living room. Then he took off his armor and shouted upstairs. Natasha Romanoff, come check out the art I just bought from the North Pole. Natasha Romanoff at the moment is still in the lab waiting for good news from Mewbai. Hearing a voice in the living room, he rushed down immediately. My God! Even experienced Natasha Romanoff. When I saw the ice sculpture in the living room, I couldn't help screaming. Steve? Natasha Romanoff still had a vivid memory of Steve's face. Even occasionally go to the Steve Memorial to have a look. When friends who once died reappeared in front of them, Natasha Romanoff was only dumbfounded. Is he really Steve? That's right, 100% pure Steve. If you don't believe me, you can compare the Pleurotus Orangi he posted online. Follow the popularity of the MI team. MI team once accidentally posted Pleurotus Orangi on the internet, and it became the #1 hot search. In addition to the Captain of the United States, he also has the title of the United States Bodhisattva. Use the power of a chicken to make people all over the world boil up. Time Lord plus 200, current Time Lord, 780, crit. Magic plus 10 by 2, current Magic, 20, super crit. God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 680, Steve. We meet again. Natasha Romanoff went a step further and stroked the ice with her hands. The eyes are like visiting a museum exhibit. She never dreamed that she would see Steve alive again. Is he dead already? Natasha Romanoff turned to ask. He didn't die, he just became a frozen squid. Then why don't you let Steve out? Let it out. Natasha Romanoff, what are you thinking? Such a perfect frozen Steve would be the perfect display in my living room. Your words surprised Natasha Romanoff. I can't guess your bold idea at all. MI team heard it and called it awesome, using frozen Steve as a decoration in the living room. This decoration Tony will give a thumbs up when he sees it. Time Lord plus 200, current Time Lord, 800, crit. Magic plus 10 by 2, current Magic, 40, super crit. God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 700, you can't do that. Steve is a legend, and he's still alive. The more legendary it is, the more valuable it is to make ice sculptures, which is more meaningful than any contemporary item in the mining team museum. Your words confirm the idea of collecting MI team as an ice sculpture. Natasha Romanoff will be extremely opposed. Your weird idea makes Natasha Romanoff want to call you the cheapest in the United States. Time Lord plus 200, current Time Lord, 820, crit. Magic plus 10 by 2, current Magic, 60, super crit. God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 720, I won't let you do that. Steve shouldn't be on display as an ice sculpture. Since you are willing to continue obsessing over your obsession, then brother has no choice but to satisfy you. Are you going to let him go? No, but add another ice sculpture decoration. The voice just fell. The ice quickly froze around Natasha Romanoff and became an ice sculpture, neatly placed next to the Steve ice sculpture. A pair of Avenger ice sculptures are complete. Looking at the two ice sculptures in front of him, Mu Bai immediately took out his camera and took a quick photo. And Natasha Romanoff, who is trapped in the ice sculpture, will always be in a state of sleep. I do not know how long it has been. Steve felt water dripping off his face. Ass feels warm. The body will also turn over from time to time. Until consciousness slowly wakes up, he slowly opened his eyes. See a pile of pale blue flames rising from below. And his perspective kept flipping. Only then did he notice that his body kept turning like a roast suckling pig. And still grilled evenly naked. This. Steve didn't have time to think about it. At this moment, he just wanted to get rid of the shackles in his hands. But I found that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't escape. He is the captain of the United States beyond the limits of the human body. Even the barbecue grill can't break free these days. Don't waste your energy, Steve. I've put gravity on you, enough to counteract the strength of your whole body. I heard a voice from the side. Steve squinted. Mu Bai, dressed in a black Deadpool uniform, walked over with 5 bottles of spice jars of different colors in his hand. Who are you? Where am I? Can you ask one question at a time? After Mu Bai approached Steve, sprinkles cumin on Steve's ass. What are you up to? I'm saving you, Steve. You've been frozen for more than 50 years. If I hadn't found you, you might have been trapped in the ice forever. One sentence reminds Steve of the scene where he crashed while chasing Red Skull. He can't believe he's still alive. It's just that the current situation is not optimistic. It seems to be caught by cannibals. Time Lord plus 200. Current Time Lord, 840, crit. Magic plus 10 by 2. Current magic, 80, super crit. God Slayer plus 15 by 2. Current God Slayer, 740. How long have I been asleep? Probably half a century. Half a century. Steve's face parted in disbelief. Then his eyes skipped over Mu Bai and looked at everything in the living room. Everything is so strange, but there is also a sense of technology that cannot be described. No need to witness the tall buildings outside. Just a living room is enough to make Steve feel the age gap. He didn't know how many years it was. Just know that there is no change in myself at this moment. Half a century is enough to derail a person from the world, but my brother will help you filter your thoughts. Mu Bai's kindness did not bring Steve's gratitude. Instead, Mu Bai's black Deadpool uniform made Steve wonder. After all, the shape is slightly similar to the villain Red Skull. Even Mu Bai is regarded as the successor of Red Skull. At the moment I am brainwashing myself. It is possible that even the surrounding background is fake. Is my background fake? How could it be a fake background? Don't worry, buddy. I don't know Red Skull, and I can't be Red Skull's successor. After all, he doesn't have the strength to be a senior. One sentence makes Steve feel that you can read the voices of others. At the same time, I can see that you are definitely more dangerous than Red Skull. The vigilance against you has become higher. 090. Time Lord plus 200. Current Time Lord, 860, crit. Magic plus 10 by 2. Current magic, 100. Magic reaches 100. Activate the Magic Apprentice. You have 30% of Doctor Strange's magic power. Super crit God Slayer plus 15 by 2. Current God Slayer, 760. No matter who you are, let me go. Let you go. Brother, what's for dinner? Finished pouring another bottle of pepper on Steve's chest. Pepper grains slide down Steve's pecs and onto his abs. And Steve from at the moment has already regarded Mu Bai as a cannibal. The body exerted force again. Gritting his teeth, he exerted all his life's strength. The body followed closely with lumps of congested muscles. A muscle of this size must be rich in protein. Who are you? After struggling for a while, Steve let out a long breath. Have not introduced myself yet. My name is Mu Bai and I am the owner of Natasha Romanoff. Natasha Romanoff? The 3 words made Steve feel familiar. Steve. A familiar voice sounded from the side. Natasha Romanoff walks by dressed as a maid with a tray. You. A familiar memory was awakened again. Steve recognized Natasha Romanoff, but did not recognize what Natasha Romanoff was wearing. Are you Natasha Romanoff? That's right, it was me. Natasha Romanoff approached slowly, dragging the plate with her palm. Your appearance has basically remained the same. Steve, you're not old either. Those bloody potions slow us down. Hey, I didn't let you out to talk to Steve and reminisce about life. Mu Bai reminded me next to him. Natasha Romanoff quickly handed the iced Americano on the plate to Mu Bai. It seems that something is missing. Mu Bai took the coffee with an unhappy expression. Coffee please. Master. Natasha Romanoff bit her lip and said master. It's too shameless to look at Steve at this moment. And Steve was horrified. More curious about Mu Bai's identity. Hey, you will be my assistant from now on. Assist if you have something to do, and be an assistant if you have nothing to do. You are very suitable for this position. Natasha Romanoff feels like she has fallen into a bottomless pit. With your strength, she dare not resist, can only be forced to be your assistant. Also enjoy the assistant's work at night. Time Lord plus 200, current Time Lord, 880. Crit, Magic plus 10 by 2, current Magic, 120, Super Crit. God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 780. Natasha Romanoff, what's wrong with you? Why are you working as his assistant? What is he? Natasha Romanoff didn't have the face to look at Steve, lowered her head and said in a low voice, his name is Black Deadpool, the strongest mutant on Earth right now. My brother said that I am not a mutant, so I must be classified as a mutant. You can treat me as a male god, don't treat me as a mutant anymore. Okay man, is there anything else you need? You go take a shower first, your maid outfit has already made my brother not in the mood to watch Steve's protein. Well, what are you going to do with Steve? I don't mind if you're strapped to a grill like Steve for a spin, if you want to know. As soon as the words fell, Natasha Romanoff hurriedly left with the plate in her arms. What did you do to Natasha Romanoff? Steve growled. In Steve's impression, Natasha Romanoff is a woman who hates evil and acts decisively. Never grovel under the threat of others, not to mention wearing inappropriate maid outfits. Fortunately, she behaves like a cat in front of Mu Bai now. I just did what a boss should do. As for you, I plan to let you be the security captain of my company. Security captain. That's right, with your super soldier serum, I feel absolutely qualified for the post of security captain. Let Steve know how crazy you are. In one word, letting the captain of the United States be used as a security captain in another company is completely overqualified. It is reasonable to use it in your own company. After all, with your strength, Hulk can only be used as a pet. Time Lord plus 200, current Time Lord, 900, crit. Magic plus 10 by 2, current Magic, 140, Super Crit. God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 800. You still don't know who I am. I've seen all your Pleurotus Oringi, what else can I not know? It is also because I know who you are that I chose you. If I were someone else, I wouldn't give up the position of security captain. After speaking, Mu Bai untied Steve and threw him on the sofa. Steve was furious. Whatever you say, you have to try with Mu Bai. I advise you not to fight with your boss. Being my boss depends on your ability. Steve doesn't care. With one move, he rushed shoulder to Mu Bai. This move has knocked over a bus, but it has no effect on Mu Bai. Not even a footstep moved. I'll give you a chance to move me half a millimeter from where I was, and I'll let you and Natasha Romanoff go. One sentence gave Steve hope, but hope is also despair at the same time. Steve will finally feel your horror. Time Lord plus 200, current Time Lord, 920. Crit, Magic plus 10 by 2, current Magic, 160, Super Crit. God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 820, Steve didn't answer. Clenched teeth. Push with all your might. Strong muscles stretched all over his body. It's enough to show that Steve has put in 100% of his strength. He wanted to teach the man in front of him a lesson. Steve who can push a tank. Don't think promoting Mu Bai will be a problem. Not to mention half a millimeter. But more than 10 seconds passed, and the two of them didn't move at all. Steve even let out a charged growl. How? Shall I find you a helper? It seems to be concerned, but it is actually extremely insulting. Steve's self-esteem has been severely hit by the immobile distance. He even suspects that his body has shrunk and turned back to the flesh and blood of himself. Time Lord plus 200, current Time Lord, 940, crit. Magic plus 10 by 2, current Magic, 180, Super Crit. God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 840, no. I can push like this for a day until you move an inch. Seeing as really unshakable, Steve suddenly had a new interest. Go to hell. I don't have time to play games with you. Mu Bai raised his hand and threw Steve more than 10 meters away. After landing, Steve's face was full of disbelief. As if to say that his time has passed. How can this be? Steve looked at the whole body and arms in surprise. He could feel the hidden strength of his body. But I don't understand why Bai couldn't be pushed away. Is it because I am too weak? Or is the man in front of me too strong? You may have been a hero before the wheel, but now times have changed. You are at best a frog in a well. There are many people who are stronger than you, and your strength is not as good as a high school student who calls himself Spider-Man. Remind Team MI that he is out of date. If you can't keep up with the times, you will be eliminated sooner or later. By the way, the power attributes of Spider-Man and Team MI. In the movie, the MI team narrowly wins by skill. In the comics, Spider-Man is far more powerful than the MI team. Time Lord plus 200, current Time Lord, 960, crit. Magic plus 10 by 2, current magic, 200, magic reaches 200, activate the Magic Apostle, you have 50% of the magic power of Doctor Strange. Super crit, God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 860. I'm not as good as a high school student now? I don't believe it, you must have done something to me. Fresh out of the ice, Steve couldn't believe that times would happen so quickly. After all, Super Soldier Serum was considered a ceiling in his time. A former smallpox of combat power was instantly reduced to the 5 scum of war. No one can accept reality. I never touch a man. After speaking, he controlled the sofa in the living room and flew towards Steve. Steve hastily stretched out his hands to take it. Both hands firmly grasped the suspended sofa. The sofa weighs 5 Natasha Romanoffs anyway. Feel the weight on it. Steve no longer thought he was weakened. It's really not as good as the Bai in front of me. Now the new version of the hero is always the strongest, and the old version can't keep up with the changes in the version. If you want to avoid being reduced to a fool, you have to go back and redo it to attract the attention of the public again. Use the strength of the hero version in the game to explain the current situation of Team MI. Steve can't understand you at all, but I think you can say that. There must be a way to help him. Time Lord plus 200, current Time Lord, 980, crit. Magic plus 10 by 2, current magic, 220, super crit. God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 880, come with me Steve, my brother will show you the new century and refresh your worldview. In addition, there are still 20 God level skill fragments to unlock the God level skills, but don't give me a hard time. Bai bought some clothes from the system store and threw them to Steve. After putting on clothes, the distance between the two has also become closer. Where are you taking me? Take you to heaven. Bai snapped his fingers. The M-Team armor quickly flew to Steve. And Steve didn't react for a long time. I thought Bai wanted to lock him up. So he quickly removed the armor on his body. Don't touch Steve. This is high tech, no matter how bad it is, being a security captain for a lifetime can't afford it. High tech? Steve just felt covered, it was pitch black. Did not feel the high tech sound. Until a woman's voice rang in my ear. The voice is so familiar. Welcome home, Steve. Carter. Nothing gets Steve more excited than hearing Carter's voice. Before he died, he remembered that he owed Carter a dance. Yes, Steve, I'm Carter, your eye steward. Artificial intelligence butler? What did you do to Carter? Carter's voice made Steve flustered. I just used Carter's voice pack, if you don't like listening to my language pack. There Carter is. Steve walked towards Bai with heavy steps. It is bound to know the news of Carter. Don't worry Steve, go out for a drive with brother first. After speaking, Bai put on the Wukong armor. 2 battle armors flew out of the villa and rushed to the sky at the same time. Feel the suffocation brought by high-altitude vision. Carter's words flew out of Steve's head in an instant. Ah. Hoo-hoo. The 2 armors went up and down extremely fast. Steve is like a tourist who is afraid of heights and is riding a high-speed roller coaster for the first time. At this moment, there are only screams in the heart that wants to stop all the time. How about Steve, have you experienced the charm of high technology now? Hoo-hoo. Let me go down quickly. If you don't want me to vomit in the battle armor, let me go down immediately. Just throw up. The automatic purification system in the battle armor. The water you drank just now has my purified boo-boo. Fact. Steve, watch your image and don't swear. During the conversation, the 2 armors flew towards the distance. Fly over tall buildings. Fly through the city streets. Fly over the bustling commercial street, the beautiful scenery of the mountains, and the military base. This flight made Steve's eyes full. His expression gradually changed from unbelievable to amazed. He didn't expect that he just fell asleep. The world has turned upside down. In the end, Mu Bai took Steve to the United States Captain's Memorial Hall. The two turned on stealth mode. Steve finally calmed down. Wander through a museum of your own. Wherever the eyes go are memories. Until Carter's photo appeared. Steve stopped and watched it affectionately. I can't hold back my emotions anymore. There were teardrops in the resolute eyes. Don't be sad, Carter is still alive. Mu Bai came from behind. Hands on Steve's shoulders. Heard that Carter was alive. Steve swallowed his tears and turned to look at Mu Bai. There was tenderness in his eyes at this moment. She's alive. She's there and I want to see her. I know you're excited, but you have to be prepared. In addition, sign the security contract first, and you will be the security captain of the villa in the future. Mu Bai took out a contract out of nowhere. Steve signed without saying a word. At this moment he was eager to see Carter. It also needs an identity. And Mu Bai does just that. After a morning of flight cognition, Steve has a lot of affection for Mu Bai. He is also gradually trusting Mu Bai. After all, he was the one who saved him. After all, Mu Bai is Steve's savior. It is reasonable to protect the safety of benefactors. The security captain is actually the head of the bodyguards. With you as the security captain, I don't think Happy will dare to have any opinions. Put away the contract. Mu Bai took Steve to the hospital where Carter was. Carter at the moment is already a gray-haired old man. She lay haggard on the bed. A gastric tube was inserted into the nostril. He is no longer the beautiful and charming Agent Carter. Even though Carter is old and completely different from what he used to be. But Steve recognized it immediately. Steve? Steve's voice is faintly heard. It made Carter, who was lying on the hospital bed ashamed, suddenly feel alive. She stared wide-eyed at the ceiling. A tear fell from the corner of his eye. Steve, my favorite native. I think I heard you calling my name. Carter. Steve couldn't hold back his emotions any longer and lay down next to Carter and cried. At this time, Mu Bai cancelled Steve's stealth mode. Here crying next to him. Carter tilted his head. She wasn't even half surprised when she saw Steve. On the contrary, very happy. Steve, you came to pick me up. Look at you, you haven't changed at all. As for me, I'm old. Carter struggled to raise his frail arm, slowly approaching Steve's face. Looking at Steve's handsome face, she gently wiped the tears from Steve's face. Do you remember our agreement? I definitely remember and have never forgotten. Steve shook Carter's hand tightly. The two looked at each other affectionately. The love that cannot be hidden is conveyed to each other's hearts through the eyes. How I wish I could stand up and have one last dance with you right now. Even if your dance skills are terrible, no one wants to invite you. Carter's words made Steve smile. For you, I have already danced very well. Really, I really want to see it. At the moments Carter had already burst into tears. Because she knows the current situation, she is already half buried in the ground. Not to mention dancing and even standing up is a challenge. Seeing that both of them had wishes, Mu Bai suddenly spoke. Brother can grant your wish. A word that ruined the atmosphere sounded. Mu Bai appeared behind Steve. VR. Through your eyes, I know that you must know me. I don't know you, but why did you come out all of a sudden? Are you here to pick me up like Steve? I'm the one who brought Steve to see you. Thank you, you are such a nice person. I am indeed a good person, and I am also a good person who can fulfill your wish. Really? Carter's eyes flashed expectantly. Definitely, tell me your wish. I wish I could have one last dance with Steve. No problem, this wish is simple and romantic. After speaking, he controlled Carter to stand up. Carter was surprised. Like Harry Potter seeing magic for the first time. Surprised and excited. Soon she was in front of Steve. Steve supported Carter with tears streaming down his face, not wanting her to fall. Now you can dance with Steve to your heart's content. After speaking, Mu Bai turned on the phone and played the song. The beautiful voice fits the scene and enters the heart. Thanks. Carter said thanks. The two danced to the music. Due to his poor health, Carter floated in the air without his feet touching the ground. The two ecstatically spun in the music, until the door of the ward was pushed open by the nurse. The sound and dance stopped abruptly. You. The nurse pointed at the three people in the ward with a shocked expression. then turned around and ran outside. But the body was suddenly grabbed by something and dragged back. Save, well, in order not to let the nurse make a sound. Mu Bai temporarily frozen her whole body, and saw the scene in front of him. Carter's whole body was dazed. This. Don't be surprised, Carter. In fact, everything that happened just now is a real thing, not an illusion. One sentence brings Kat back to reality. She thought everything was a hallucination before she died, and she was very happy. Now was not an illusion but a real thing. This made Carter's brain confused for a while. I can't even believe that the person in front of me is real Steve. Time Lord plus 200, current Time Lord, 1000. The Time Lord reaches 1000. Activate the Master of the Time domain. You can control all the time in the domain, control the speed of time in the domain, and change the impact of time. Crit. Magic plus 10 by 2, current magic, 240, super crit. God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 900. Carter covered his mouth and looked at Steve in surprise. And Steve immediately hugged the panicked Carter. He kept whispering comfort in her ear, it's all about the past. Carter couldn't help laughing when he mentioned the previous memories. You're Steve. Yeah, I'm that Steve who can't even dance. I never expected to meet you before I died. I didn't expect any of this either. The two spoke affectionately. Mu Bai interjected again. Carter, do you have any family now? Carter looked at Mu Bai when he heard the question. No, I've been alone since Steve didn't hear from me. Perfect. Now you can be together. And you're just the right age. No. I can't be with Steve. I will only drag him down the way I am now. Carter hastily refused. A lover will eventually get married, not to mention that Steve is now my employee. I may not be a good husband, but I am definitely a good boss. Immediately after speaking, show the newly acquired time ability. And Carter's face is backtracking with alarming speed. 807060403025. In a blink of an eye, the gray-haired Carter turned back to his youngest and most beautiful appearance. This really surprised Steve. Carter, you're getting younger. What the hell happened to me? Carter could clearly feel his body becoming lighter. The whole body is full of vitality. She touched her cheek with her hands. The wrinkled face became smooth and round. Carter, look at yourself now. Mu Bai created an ice mirror out of thin air and appeared in front of Carter. See yourself in the mirror. Carter couldn't stop screaming. Great, Steve, we're together again. Yes, we can make up for the regrets we have had. After speaking, the two hugged and kissed tightly. Hey, pay attention to the occasion, brother is still by your side. Mu Bai coughed lightly. Carter and Steve let go. Thank you for not only helping me, but also helping the people I love the most. Steve changed his previous vigilance. Greeted with a smile all the way. From seeing Carter to Carter regaining his youth. Mu Bai can be said to have made an indelible contribution. Not to mention saving yourself from the North Pole. Steve from at the moment regards Mu Bai as the best boss in the world. So what about being a security guard with such a boss? Thank you. Although I don't know your name, but I, Carter, will never forget everything you have done. I agreed to the things you mentioned before. If there is any need for help in the future. I'm duty-bound, Steve. Okay, 10 years is not too late for a gentleman to repay his kindness. We will talk about work later. You need a honeymoon now to deepen exchanges. One sentence moved the two of them again. Employee happiness is obviously more important than work. Your help Steve and Carter will never forget it. Eye of the Future plus 10 by 2, current Eye of the Future, 820. Crit. Magic plus 10 by 2, current magic, 260, super crit. God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 920, thanks. Don't thank me for your kindness, just tell me where you want to go, and I can send you there right away. Mentioning the two hesitated for a while. Why don't you go to Afghanistan, where Tony and Pepper are also honeymooning? After speaking, the three of them disappeared from the spot in an instant. Go to Tony and Pepper's room. And Pepper from at the moment is helping Tony take off his coat. I saw 3 people who suddenly appeared. The two yelled out directly. Fack. What are you doing? Take it easy Tony, it's me. Mu Bai walked up to Steve. Mu Bai. Why are you here again? Isn't it good to be a billionaire quietly? Sorry to bother you too. This time I want to introduce 2 newcomers to you. Mu Bai turned sideways. Steve and Carter looked embarrassed, arm in arm. Hi there. I really want to see you somewhere. Little Pepper suddenly thought of something. He's the captain of the United States, I'm sure no one doesn't know him? Carter said solemnly. Obviously showing off his boyfriend is very good. Pepper as a woman is naturally overwhelmed by Carter's arrogance. Captain of the United States? Are you kidding me? The captain of the United States is now a museum relic, how could he appear here? Also next to me is billionaire Tony Stark, the richest man in the world. Little Pepper just couldn't enjoy talking and hugged Tony. And Tony and Steve were dumbfounded. Emotional identity is used to show off. Too skinny, a total noob compared to Steve. Cut. I don't like big muscular men. If Tony wants to spend money training his muscles every minute, there is nothing that money can't handle now. Hey, you're still too young. Steve has super soldier serum, something that money can't buy. Don't think you can do whatever you want with money. You may not have experienced the life of rich people, so you don't know the importance of money. Okay everyone, I didn't ask you to meet to quarrel. I'm going to send you to Hawaii for vacation together. Hawaii. Tony sat up in bed when he heard it. Why are we with them? Also, I can see that these two are the United States captain and Carter's copycat. Little Pepper pinched his chin and said with certainty. Copycats. God, what are you talking about? We are the real Rice team and Agent Carter. Cut. I believe you guys. Pepper rolled his eyes. Okay ladies, let's make peace. Pretending to be a gentleman. Don't tell me Steve, he'll beat your Tony all over the place. It's not sure who beats who, but Tony has a battle armor. If the two of you continue to chatter, I will send you both to the Sahara Desert. I believe your saliva can flood the entire desert. One sentence makes the two people stop quarreling. Little Pepper knows your strength, and Carter respects you. Eye of the future plus 10 by 2, current eye of the future, 840. Crit, magic plus 10 by 2, current magic, 280, super crit. God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 940. When are we going to Hawaii? When your women can shake hands peacefully. What is Pepper waiting for? Tony winked at Pepper. He had had enough of being in Afghanistan forever. Carter, I think we should make peace. I do not want it. The two women said in unison. Well, the trip to Hawaii is changed to an adventure in the virgin forest. I believe that the adventure will strengthen your relationship. After all, you are both my employees. After speaking, the four of them appeared together in the depths of the dense primeval forest. But Mu Bai did not follow them. Fact, my Hawaii. Seeing his surroundings, Tony kicked the weeds hard. I had many conflicts with the enemy in the forest at that time, and I am familiar with the forest. Still Steve is on point. Carter said aloud, wrapping his arms around Steve's strong arms. Our Tony is not weak. Tony, can you summon armor to save us? Just kidding, I didn't even start researching. Hear Tony's dejected words. Carter turned his head and covered his face with a smirk. Come on, we need to find a place to spend the night before dark. No way, are we really going to spend the night here? Tony looked around at 980 and didn't think about moving at all. At present, it is indeed the case. That Mu Bai can do anything. I'm starting to miss my days in Afghanistan a little bit. Come on friends, this is a new experience for us. Steve has no complaints. At this moment, as long as Carter is by his side, he will be happy no matter where he goes. Come on Tony, we'll just have to follow them. Pepper put his arm around Tony. Then the four of them walked on the forest path. And Mu Bai from at the moment has returned to the villa. Where's Steve? You just think about Steve, not your boss. He's with his girlfriend now. You don't have to have a crush on Steve anymore. I don't have a crush on him, we're just friends. Whether you care or not, Steve and Tony are on vacation now, and you won't see them for a while. Your words let Natasha Romanoff know what you must have done to a few people. And the decision was made without the consent of several people. She feels sorry for Steve and Tony for knowing you. Eye of the future plus 10 by 2, current eye of the future, 860. Crit, magic plus 10 by 2, current magic, 300, magic reaches 300, activate magician, you have 80% of Doctor Strange's magic power. Super crit, God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 960. After sending them all away, what are you going to do? Natasha Romanoff sat down on the couch as she spoke. Two slender legs clad in black silk cross each other. She wiped the ends of her hair next to her ear. His eyes were fixed on Mu Bai. I wanted to make some rescue armor to support Steve and them. But because the assistant is so attractive, I have no idea of a job. Mu Bai threw off the hood and smiled at Natasha Romanoff. Anything else besides Steve? Yes, but don't worry, I'm going to find a boy named Peter Parker after we're done. One sentence spoiler: Peter Parker is coming soon. Natasha Romanoff is already praying for the next victim. And Peter at the moment didn't know the coming of bad luck. Eye of the Future plus 10 by 2, current Eye of the Future, 880. Crit, Magic plus 10 by 2, current Magic, 320, Super Crit. God Slayer plus 15 by 2, current God Slayer, 980, at the moment Peter's home. The smell of gunpowder is permeating the entire living room. Peter was sitting on the couch across from Uncle Ben. His appearance is close to Tobey's version of Spider-Man. Not as popular as the Dutch version of Spider-Man. Not as handsome as Garfield's version of Spider-Man. But the closest thing comes to Spider-Man's image of the good neighbor. He kept his head down the entire time without saying a word. Like a child who got into trouble at school and came home to be educated. Peter, didn't I tell you not to fight with others at school? Do you know that Aunt May and I don't want anything to happen to you? Peter must have difficulties, he will not fight with others casually. Aunt May washed a plate of fruit and placed it on the table between the two of them. Compared with Uncle Ben's severity, Aunt May always looks amiable. Peter eat an apple. Aunt May handed Pid the apple. Thank you, Aunt May, but I don't want to eat it now. Peter lowered his head and waved his hands. And you, want one? Pass the apple to Ben Parker again. I'm teaching Peter, May you can't protect him all the time. He's an adult and needs to take responsibility for what he did. Uncle Ben stood up and gently pushed Aunt May away. In his eyes, Peter was just spoiled by Aunt May. Although he is not Peter's father, but at the moment is playing the role of father. Send Aunt May away. Ben Parker sighed and sat back on the couch. Since Peter's parents passed away, this was the first serious conversation between the two of them. Ben Parker hopes to get to know Peter better through this conversation. Then point him in the right direction. Peter, on the other hand, wanted to end the conversation quickly. Peter, tell me, why did you hit your classmate, backquote? I didn't do anything, it was Thompson who kept provoking me. Peter looked up innocently. I really hope that Uncle Ben can read my expression. Then how did Thompson get the injury on his face? Now everybody's saying you beat Thompson first. They lied that Thompson's face was injured by himself, and the witnesses were all Thompson's people. They teamed up to bully me and even threw my school bag into the river. Peter became more and more excited as he spoke. His tone raised a lot. The originally suppressed mood gradually broke out in front of Uncle Ben. I don't believe that today's children can identify a person at the same time, and their consciences are too bad. What I said is true, Uncle Ben doesn't even believe me. No matter how the injury on his face came about, you really deserved to fight. You only care about other people's words and never believe me. Peter looked at Ben Parker with tears in his eyes. Seeing Peter's aggrieved look like Parker is also very distressing. But just a few words of comfort. Peter turned and ran out of the room without giving a chance. Peter. Ben Parker yelled, standing up hastily. I reflect in my heart whether I was too strict with Peter just now. Peter. Where are you going so late? Aunt May, who was standing in the kitchen, saw Peter slam the door and ran out. Hastily got up and chased out. Peter. But no matter how she shouted at the door, Peter didn't look back either. The figure is getting farther and farther away from home. He wiped his tears as he ran. It felt like the whole world had abandoned him. It's not even late at night, and it has already entered the network suppression cloud mode. Why doesn't anyone believe me? Peter yelled helplessly. He didn't notice the cars coming from the road at all. Until the car horn sounded. The distance between the two was only a few meters away. Dee-dee. A shrill whistle sounded. Dazzling light enveloped Peter's whole body. At this moment, Peter's pupils dilated and he was completely stunned. He's not Spider-Man and there's no way to dodge it. Just when he thought he would be knocked into the air soon. But after waiting for a few seconds, I didn't see the car approaching half a step. There was only a bright light in front of him. Seeing this, Peter lowered his panicked hands. Run quickly to the side of the road. When you stop on the side of the road and turn around. Only then did he realize that the car that was driving fast was suspended in the air. Thompson and his partner, who were staying in the car, dropped their jaws in shock. Thought the car hit something. What's going on here? How did it stop in midair? Thompson turned off the headlights and peered out the window. Everyone in the car stared wide-eyed, completely overwhelmed. Did you hit something? No, there's nothing ahead. No matter how much Thompson stepped on the accelerator, the car did not respond. Look, isn't that Peter? The girl by the window in the car saw Peter, who was also surprised on the side of the road. Everyone heard Peter and looked towards the side of the road. It's really Peter. Could it be that he messed up? Although I don't know what's going on, it must have something to do with him. I can't wait to hit him in the face with my fist. Thompson pushed the door aggressively and jumped out of the car. A total of 5 of Peter's classmates got out of the car. I thought it was someone who came out at night to seek death, but it turned out to be Peter. Thompson put on a contemptuous face and taunted first. Why is Peter's eyes red? Could he be scolded by his uncle, so he doesn't want to live anymore? Why do you say that, Peter? At most, he ran out to find a corner where no one was around and cried secretly. Ha ha ha. Facing the cynicism of Thompson et al., Peter gritted his teeth and clenched his fists in hatred. But he still remembered what Uncle Ben said when he ran out of the house. In addition, he can't beat Thompson. I can only swallow my breath. Let me see who the hell is bullying me. At this moment Mu Bai descended from the sky wearing a black Spider-Man uniform. The graceful figure is particularly slender under the corset. In order to shape the image of Spider-Man's youth, Mu Bai deliberately shrunk in size, in order not to become as big and stupid as Venom. F*K. What kind of weird guy is this? Everyone was shocked by Mu Bai's new look at night. It's so cool, it looks like Black Deadpool. A female fan of Black Deadpool in the crowd admired it very much. You have a good eye. I'm actually imitating Black Deadpool's uniform. Tukao Deadpool is always regarded as Spider-Man, because the uniforms of the two are very similar. But no one ever regarded Spider-Man as Deadpool, because Spider-Man's popularity is always in the top 3. Future I plus 10 by 2. Current Future I, 900, crit. Magic plus 10 by 2. Current Magic, 340. Magic reaches 300. Activate Magician. You have 80% of Doctor Strange's magic power. Super crit God Slayer plus 15 by 2. Current God Slayer, 1000. God Slayer reaches 1000. Activates God Slaughter. You ignore the body of the god. All damage will cause real damage to the god, and you can get all the experience on the decedent body. Even the Devourer is saved for me now. Who are you? Thompson looked fearless. He even regarded Mu Bai in front of him as a freak in a Halloween costume. I am Peter's boss. You bully my employees. As a boss, you can't just sit idly by. Peter's boss? How can Peter have a boss when he's only in high school? It must be Peter's boss when he works on weekends. After all, Peter is very poor and has to work every week. That's right. Everyone nodded in agreement. I didn't expect Peter's boss to be so weird. Maybe Peter goes to Gay Friends nightclub to work every week. Thompson started and everyone laughed. It's nothing more than ridiculing my employees, even his boss. If it weren't for the fact that you are just children, brother would have done it long ago. After that, he walked to Thompson's car. Everyone was still laughing and mocking the two of them. Until Mu Bai pulled down the door of Thompson's car. Everyone stopped laughing. The expression is stiff on the face. What are you doing? Do you know how much my car costs? Thompson was furious that his car was destroyed. Roared at Mu Bai. As you can see, help you do car maintenance for free. The cars in my hands don't need any maintenance in the future. Forcing a bad thing into a good thing, at the same time let everyone know that you are not a guy to mess with. Just dismantling the car with bare hands is enough to shock the students. Eye of the Future plus 10 by 2, current Eye of the Future, 920. Crit, Magic plus 10 by 2, current Magic, 360, super crit. God's Perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's Perspective, 20. Stop. Do you want to die? Thompson, calm down. Seeing that Thompson almost lost his mind, the classmates behind him hurriedly stopped him. The relationship between several people looks good. Otherwise, Thompson and Mu Bai would have done it long ago. A group of people watched the jokes from behind. Stop it. If you keep wrecking Thompson's car, we'll call the police. Call the police? When you bullied Peter, why didn't you think about how the police would treat you? One sentence makes everyone learn to empathize. They are actually bullying cowards. See, Peter is honest and easy to bully. 967, so it will get worse. Eye of the Future plus 10 by 2, current Eye of the Future, 940. Crit, Magic plus 10 by 2, current Magic, 380, super crit. God's Perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's Perspective, 40. If you don't leave my car, I really need to call the police. Thompson pointed at Mu Bai and shouted. Your car. I don't seem to see any car. One finger lightly. The car next to it immediately turned into blue butterflies flying around. In the blink of an eye, Thompson's car was gone. The few people who stood there were dumbfounded. I took a few steps back in fear. Nobody dared to mention the car anymore. Hurry up and call the police. Thompson immediately took out his phone. But in the next second, the phone also turned into a butterfly afterimage. Don't call the police because I'm wearing a black uniform now. I'm afraid that if they come, they will shoot if they don't listen to me. Tukao about the situation of black in front of the police. Anyone who is black is a potential criminal in front of the white police. Eye of the future plus 10 by 2, current eye of the future, 960. Crit, magic plus 10 by 2, current magic, 400, magic reaches 400, activate the magic master, you have the magic power of Doctor Strange. Super crit, God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 60. Next, let me teach you how to be a good boy. As soon as the words ended, Bai stood in front of Thompson in an instant. When everyone saw this, they were full of fear. Turn around and run. Mu Bai just smiled slightly at this. Soon everyone's calves froze quickly. Everyone was frozen in place. Immediately there were wailing sounds. Ah! It's cold. My leg. Monster. Be quiet. Have you ever considered the feelings of those around you when you yell? All students had their mouths zipped up. Only Thompson still retains the right to speak. Forgive me, I will never dare to bully Peter again. Thompson was so scared that he peed his pants. Forgive me. Let me hear your sincerity towards Peter. Mu Bai beckoned. Peter in the distance immediately came to Thompson. Thompson was taken aback for a moment, then cried and begged for mercy. I'm sorry, Peter, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Why? I shouldn't have done those things to you. Tomorrow I will definitely explain to the teacher about today's fight. Peter, I'm sorry. We shouldn't bully you with Thompson. Peter, I was wrong. Please forgive me. You will be my big brother from now on. Listen to Thompson and other students begging for mercy. Peter, who has always been bullied, looked dumbfounded. He didn't expect that a strange guy would suddenly appear to support him. But it feels good. Just apologizing is not enough, after all you have bullied other classmates before. You. What else do you want? I want to leave some souvenirs behind you, in case you bully others in the future. That girl doesn't have to be afraid, because you said I was cool, so she was exempted from punishment. The girl wiped her tears with excitement. Brother, you are so cool. Thompson said hastily, rolling his eyes. I don't need to tell you, I know, you better turn around and put your butt up. Mu Bai rubbed his palms together as he spoke. You can even see a lot of sparks bursting out of your palms. This threatening force scared everyone into a cold sweat. Peter, help. Save me quickly, I will never dare again. Seeing that Thompson, who was bullying the weak in the past, also has today. Peter didn't want to take the opportunity to hit him. Enough. I don't care who you are, they are at least my classmates. You can't treat them like murderers. Let's not brand them on the back. Even though Thompson had treated Peter badly before. But at the moment, Peter did not forget to carry forward the good old style. My people have said so, then I will let you write daily. Thank you, Peter. Thompson thanked quickly. Thanks, Peter? Thank you for not killing me. I don't know the name of the eldest brother. Call me Black Spider. Gobi was born earlier than Spider-Man. Thank you, Black Spider. Black Spider? What is your relationship with Black Deadpool? The Black Deadpool female fan suddenly asked. I am also a fan of Black Deadpool, because we are both fans of Black Deadpool, so you can leave early. After speaking, he lifted the ice from the girl's feet. But the girl didn't leave immediately. Instead, he came forward to ask about the news about Black Deadpool. Do you know Black Deadpool? I've met Black Deadpool a few times, and this is the autographed pants he gave me, and I can give it to you now. Mu Bai put his hands behind his back. From nowhere, he took out a pair of white trousers with his signature written on it. Is this what Black Deadpool wore? I didn't expect that your hobbies are quite special. You can wear and sign the limited edition trousers as Black Deadpool. Great, my best friends will definitely envy me if they know. I don't need to say more to thank you. It's better for girls to go home early at this late hour. With a wave of his hand, the girl disappeared instantly. Don't worry, I just sent him home. You can still see her at school tomorrow, but I don't know where the car went just now. One word reassures everyone. Also explained that I did not let the girl disappear from the world. I learned that you are also a fan of Black Deadpool. And treat Black Deadpool fans extra friendly. Eye of the Future plus 10 by 2, current Eye of the Future, 980. Crit Spider Telepathy plus 10 by 2, current Spider Telepathy, 20. Super Crit, God's Perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's Perspective, 80. Well. Actually, I'm also a fan of Black Deadpool. Yeah, Black Deadpool is super cool, no one can't love him. I only have one idol, and that is Black Deadpool. Me too, my phone wallpaper is Black Deadpool. The remaining 4 people shouted quickly. Everyone was afraid that Mubai would not know who their idol was. Forget it. I can see what you're thinking, you just want to get a pair of autographed trousers for free. One sentence speaks the voice of everyone. A few people really want to get free pants. But I didn't expect to be seen through by you. Too scared to speak nonsense anymore. Eye of the Future plus 10 by 2, current Eye of the Future, 1000. The Eye of the Future reaches 1000, activate the future vision, you can see everything that will happen in the future, the longest time you can see is 7 days, and every day from now on, the time limit will increase by 1 day. Crit Spider Telepathy plus 10 by 2, current Spider Telepathy, 40. Super Crit, God's Perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's Perspective, 100. In addition, fans who hate Deadpool will not bully their classmates casually. If you let fans who know about you bully your classmates, he will definitely kill you with a knife. He was given an education class by Mubai. Everyone bowed their heads in guilt. Especially Thompson was enlightened deeper. Okay, let's all go home. After today's education, I think you will be well behaved in the future. After speaking, everyone was sent home. Thompson's missing car was also returned to his home. The move would keep Thompson from going missing with the car. Whipped by his father's 6 wolves belt, after everyone leaves. The street was quiet again in the middle of the night. Only Mubai and Peter remained in place. Peter, how does it feel good to punish the bad guys? It's refreshing, but it can't be too extreme, such as the part where you want to engrave them. I'm just scaring them, so I won't attack a few children. But then again, why are you helping me? Peter turned around and looked at Mubai. Except for good friend Harry, no one ever stood up for him. Guys like Mubai who support him and help him teach his opponents. Peter had never met one. Because I want to organize a team of heroes and let you join to be like Hermes. Hermes? Responsible for running errands? After you join the team, you can help the heroes take out food and deliver a courier or something. One sentence made Peter dispel the idea of joining the hero team. He only has time to go to school and work on weekends, and has no spare time to run errands. The main thing is that he feels that he is not worthy of joining the hero team. I am a small person, there is no need to join the heroes. Speed of light plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 20. Crit Spider Telepathy plus 10 by 2, current Spider Telepathy, 60. Super Crit, God's Perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's Perspective, 120. Forget it, I'm not a hero, I still have a lot of bills waiting for me to do odd jobs. What kind of part-time job do you do? You will never be rich if you work part-time, you can only barely eat and wear. I can find you the most lucrative job. What job? You want to know? Definitely thought. Go and buy a law book first, and the most lucrative jobs are written on it. It's nothing, I have to go back first, Aunt May is already worried about me. Wait, brother was just joking with you just now. As long as you join my team, money is not a problem. Yes, money is not the problem is that you have no money. Peter directly spoke the next sentence from Mubai. And Mubai scratched his head and simply revealed his wealth directly. Randomly take out a file and money box from the extra-dimensional space. Open it in front of Mubai. Thick banknotes popped out of document packets. They all fell to the ground. Seeing so much money, Peter was stunned. All the money in this box is given to you, and it will be used as a deposit for my brother to hire you. Mubai directly threw the box to Peter. The money on the ground is trampled underfoot like waste paper. You know, just a few dollars under your feet is enough to cover Peter's odd jobs for a month. How do you know now that brother isn't bragging? Peter froze in place holding a box of money. There was no reply for a long time. Until it slows down. Peter pushed another box of money back to Mubai. I don't want your money, I want to fight for money on my own. Actually, brother is waiting for your words. After speaking, the money on the ground and the briefcase disappeared at the same time. Return to the different dimension space. Your words made Peter feel that he must be a very picky boss. I even thought about it, if I continue to decline, he will get part of the money. After all, their family can't even pay the rent. And your reaction directly killed Peter's plan in the cradle. Speed of light plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 40. Crit spider telepathy plus 10 by 2, current spider telepathy, 80. Super crit, God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 140. This, Peter, don't worry, just follow my brother and make sure you can make money. I'm just a student now and don't expect to make a lot of money. The main purpose of going to school is also to make money. This has been an unchanging cycle throughout the ages. As long as you do me a favor tonight, I will give you a salary. What's busy? I'm going to Hell's Kitchen to fight criminals in a while, but I don't have a photographer. Would you like to help? As a reward, I'll help Uncle Ben pay all his bills this month. Haven't you always wanted to make Uncle Ben proud? Tonight is your chance. A word makes Peter's heart move. Although I am not very interested in money, Peter has experienced the days without money. Especially Uncle Ben's melancholy expression after seeing the bill made Peter very guilty. If you can help Uncle Ben, Peter is naturally willing to contribute. Speed of light plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 60. Crit spider telepathy plus 10 by 2, current spider telepathy, 100. Spider telepathy reaches 100, activate spider telepathy, 360 can predict the upcoming dangers around you in advance, and make adequate responses. Super crit, God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 168. Is everything you just said true? Peter's sudden question showed his intentions. He really needed a fund to help Uncle Ben, and now the opportunity is at hand. He didn't want to miss the opportunity. I, Black Spider, never lie to deceive students. Wouldn't it be like just taking it out for me to see, and then quickly taking it back? No, brother is not short of money, because Tony's money is my money, and my money is still my money. In other words, I am richer than Tony. You know Tony? Yeah, I have a friend who is a business partner with Tony. What proof do you have? You knew Tony. There is no need to prove this. I want to ask if you can take pictures. Definitely yes, my hobby is photography, and I have won awards, 760. Mew Bai bought a newest camera from the system store and handed it to Peter. Peter took the camera and looked at it in his hand. After seeing the brand and model of the camera clearly, the eyeballs fell to the ground, because it is too expensive, and it is also Peter's dream machine. Can't wait to take some pictures of Mew Bai. Now is not the time to take pictures. We'll shoot again later when we go to Hell's Kitchen to deal with gangsters. One sentence expresses my whereabouts. The word gangster is enough to scare Peter's heart. After all, no one dares to provoke an organization that shoots guns at every turn. Speed of light plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 80. Crit spider telepathy plus 10 by 2, current spider telepathy, 120. Super crit, God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 180. You're going to gangsters. I'm a student and I don't have any super abilities. After weighing, the camera in Peter's hand instantly became unstable. After all, life and money, Peter still knows which is lighter and which is more important. Taking me there is like pushing me to death. No, I can't sacrifice my life for money. Peter quickly handed the camera back to Mew Bai. Peter, why are you so verbose? Don't worry, I can ensure your safety. You can just take pictures. Remember to take good pictures for me. No, I didn't wait for the refusal to say it. Mew Bai flew into the sky with Peter in his arms. The reason why it is not instant is just to give Peter control. Facing this scene, Peter could only hug Mew Bai tightly with surprise on his face. No way, you can still fly. There are many things I know, and you will see later. But seriously, why did you come to me? May I say I just passed by? Peter was speechless and stopped asking. Then the two came to the sky above Hell's Kitchen pier. Step on top of the tallest container. You'll be shooting here in a while, and I promise they won't find you. It's too high here, too. Gao. Then I can send you down. No need, I'm still here. Peter immediately refused. Now it's Hell's Kitchen. Peter can only compromise as a photographer. Otherwise, with his ability, there is no way to get down from a container that is more than 10 meters high. Then brother will go down first. Remember to take better pictures for brother. After saying that, Bai disappeared. Only Peter was left trembling standing in the sky. But for Peter's safety, Bai specially cast a transparent protective cover on Peter. That way any attack can't hurt Peter. Even if it falls from the container, it will be unscathed. And there is an invisible photographer beside Peter. He was in charge of filming Peter's subsequent expressions. After 2 minutes, a yacht can be vaguely seen approaching from the sea. The gangsters waiting at the pier came out of the dark when they saw their trading partners coming. After the speedboat approached, a dozen men with guns came down from above. The last one was a man wearing a white hat. A man in a suit with a smile on his face. As soon as he landed, he waved his hands enthusiastically. Long time no see. Yeah, long time no see. The goods I gave to Jin Bin last time, did he like it? It's okay, so I plan to continue with you. As long as you want to buy gold, I will always have it in stock. Let's not talk about checking the goods first. The man in the white hat made his eyes look very active. A strong black man came over carrying 2 boxes behind him. Peter, who stayed above, carefully held the camera to record. He had never done such a dangerous and exciting job. When seeing the traded goods above, subconsciously covering his thumping heart. Such scenes Peter can only see in TV series. It is inevitable to feel nervous when you are on the scene now. I heard that Jin Bing's subordinates have been being targeted by a man named Daredevil recently. The man in the red tights is not Jin Bin's opponent at all. He has been caught and locked up now, and he can kill him at any time. It turns out that I have already caught it, otherwise I would like to do my part. The man in the white hat smiled politely. The item is very good, and I'm sure Kim will like it very much. After checking everything, the men sent by Jin Bing waved their hands in satisfaction. The little brother behind him came over with a box of cash. Happy cooperation. Just when the two happily shook hands, a light bell suddenly rang overhead. Just then Peter's cell phone rang. It was Aunt May calling. The always sensitive gangster quickly put away the trade items and looked around. Up there. What it is? I saw it, someone was hiding on it. 1.8 shot. Suddenly gunfire erupted from the pier. The bullets shot towards the container like raindrops. Peter was so scared that he hugged his head and curled up on the top of the container. He didn't notice the bullets ricocheting around him. At this moment, he closed his eyes and kept complaining in his heart that Bai gave him a life-threatening job. But soon the gunfire and the sound of the container being hit by bullets stopped. And Peter didn't let up. Still hugging his knees and curled up in place. I pray in my heart that everything will pass quickly. He missed Aunt May and Uncle Ben terribly at the moment. Even cried out. Peter's side is collapsing. And the gangsters are also in a state of confusion. Because they saw that all the bullets fired at the container stopped in midair. What's going on here? Boss, look quickly. I saw. The gangsters below at the moment all showed panic. No one has ever seen such a shocking scene. The bullets were all suspended in the air motionless. Someone even fired another shot in disbelief. The bullet stopped again when it was halfway from the container. Everyone looks at me, and I look at you. Feel like I'm dreaming. Or if you drink too much, you will hallucinate. What happened? Is it your fault? The black-headed man under Jin Bing asked about the white-hatted man. Because the white hat man is very calm compared to other people. We're not going to do something that's disrespectful to Kim, and it's likely that other mutants did it. Mutant. Mentioned that the mutant black-headed man panicked. That's right. The phenomenon of at the moment can only be done by mutant. He is probably hiding somewhere and watching us. Speaking of which, the two looked up at the container above. Is there anyone up there? The black-headed man yelled. Peter opened his eyes quickly when he heard it. But the body remained absolutely still. He just wanted to leave quickly. Act like nothing happened. Hey, we are Jin Bin's subordinates. You have to think clearly that going against me in the will not end well. The black-headed man continued to shout from below. Peter didn't say a word the whole time. Damn it, that guy must be on it. Otherwise why would all the bullets stop when attacking the container? That's right, but it's not easy for this person to be able to stop bullets in the air. And this kind of ability I only know one person. Who? Magneto. Magneto. Hasn't he already been killed by Black Deadpool? It is indeed dead. Otherwise, with Magneto's strength, he wouldn't be able to hide on it and keep silent. Now how to do? Since the bullet can't hurt him, it's my turn. The man in the white hat slowly took off his hat. The black-headed man took 2 steps back consciously. Just when the man in the white hat was about to make a move. A bolt of lightning flashed in the air. The bullets that had been stagnant in the air fell down one after another. It fell on everyone like a torrential rain. Later the sky thundered and thundered. A figure slowly descended from the sky accompanied by lightning. I saw a figure in the sky. Gang members don't care about anything. The bullets shot towards Su Chu in unison. Falca, I carefully created a full-fledged hero appearance for you, and you didn't even finish watching it. Confiding my helplessness, I wanted to make a blockbuster with a full-fledged landing. As a result, the gangsters didn't understand the mood and shot directly. Speed of light plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 100. The speed of light reaches 100, activate the speed of light, and your speed reaches the speed of light. Crit, spider telepathy plus 10 by 2, current spider telepathy, 140. Super crit, god perspective plus 10 by 2, current god perspective, 200. See the people below and shoot without watching the appearance. A look. Then all the guns and bullets in the audience flew into the air. Some gang members who didn't let go hung in the air with their weapons. Help. Ah. Shut up, the hero hasn't spoken yet. What are you bad guys shouting? Mu Bai took a look. The two gangsters who were hanging in the air flew out with a whoosh. Landed in the waters of the pier and disappeared. Above Mu Bai ignores all weapons. This made the black-headed man difficult. At the same time, he was also afraid of Mu Bai's strength. And the white hat man pretended to be calm. He looked up at Mu Bai with a smile on his face. Excuse me, I want to ask if we have offended you? You did offend me, and you made me very angry. We don't seem to have seen him. I don't know what offended you. 1. You attacked my photographer indiscriminately. It is not easy for him to secretly take pictures of you while lying on the container, but you even shot him. Have you ever thought about his feelings? Put yourself in another way. If you are secretly filming from above, won't you be afraid that the people below will attack you? A sentence of moral kidnapping makes the gangsters a little confused. Attacking those who are afraid of gangster deals is actually their fault. You should come down and let Peter stand beside you to take a clearer picture. They have never heard such a wonderful reason for finding fault. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 20. Crit spider telepathy plus 10 by 2, current spider telepathy, 160. Super crit. God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 220. Are you finding fault on purpose? The black-headed man growled. The swearing was all pressed into the throat. Compared to the first one, it's even worse. You guys didn't watch my appearance before asking who I am, and you shot ahead of time, so I didn't even have time to say my opening remarks. If you all play like this, I won't be able to shoot the next Douyin video. The second reason for offending is even more outrageous than the first one. They wonder if you are a fool if the weapon is not useless to you. Hundreds of bullets will be shot at you at this moment. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 40. Crit spider telepathy plus 10 by 2, current spider telepathy, 180. Super crit. God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 240. Are you finished? Let me see what else is there. Mu Bai stood in the air. Condescending speeches bring a sense of oppression to the gangsters below. Do you know whose subordinate we are? Seeing that he was not good enough, the black-headed man moved out of the backstage. He seems to think that with the support of the godfather of the gangster, Jin Bin, he can really be fearless. Who is your boss has something to do with me. Mu Bai's words completely made him speechless. Our boss is Jin Bin, the famous godfather of gangsters. The overlord of Hell's Kitchen. The police will bow when they see him. The black-headed man couldn't control his emotions. All the words that can describe Jin Bing were used in one brain. However, Mu Bai pinched his nose and didn't care. What kind of thing is your boss? Don't take it out to embarrass yourself. Seeing that Mu Bai doesn't pay attention to Jin at all, and all the actions just now, the man in the white hat suddenly laughed. Do you think this is okay? I will give you this box of cash, how about you let us go? The man in the white hat opened the box. Show Mu Bai the cash inside the box. He thinks that Mu Bai came here for money. Otherwise, who will come to follow the gang transactions at night? Hey, what are you doing? That's my money. How can I go back to Jin and explain to him if you give it to him? If we're all dead, I'm afraid we'll lose our people and money. The two below are talking about trade-offs, but Mu Bai doesn't care about that little money at all. Oh, a box of money? hearing Mu Bai's contemptuous tone. The man in the white hat closed the money box again. It seems that 040, you are deliberately going against my white pigeon. White pigeon. What a funny name. Why aren't you called squab pigeon? Mu Bai stopped in the air and laughed, but the white dove was still smiling. He didn't want to show his strength in front of Jin Bing's men. But now the situation has to be shot. Afterwards, the white pigeon's eyes turned redder and redder as it looked at Su Chu. Suddenly, 2 laser beams burst out from the eyes and shot at Su Chu. Su Chu didn't dodge and was directly hit by 2 laser beams. Boom. Under the night sky, a dazzling firework lit up where Mu Bai was. After the explosion, the eyes of the white dove slowly changed from red to normal color. In Hell's Kitchen, except for Jin Bin, I'm really not afraid of anyone. The surrounding gang members were all shocked by Baiga's strength. It's amazing enough that Mu Bai can stop bullets in the air. Unexpectedly, the white pigeons traded with them were stronger. Both eyes can emit laser light. What's going on here? The black-headed man looked surprised. At the same time, I have a little more admiration for the white pigeon. Originally, he looked down on Baiga because of his many weapons. Now I feel scared. Actually, I'm also a mutant. White pigeon smiled lightly. Mutant? Today's transaction ends here? After speaking, the white pigeon picked up the cash box on the ground. Wait for the white dove. Why didn't the weapons fall from the sky when that guy died? I don't know about this, it's not mine anyway. Since you don't know, I'll tell you, you know? Bai Ge thought it was Jin Bin's men who were talking. When you look back, Mu Bai's 2 iron fingers were directly inserted into his eyes. 2 eyeballs were pulled out by Mu Bai. Ah! The white dove let out a scream. The body jerked backwards. Others heard the voice and noticed that Mu Bai was not dead. Without eyeballs, I don't believe you can still release laser light. But your laser is too weak, it's time for you to see what real Cyclops are. In line with the idea of returning a person's body in the same way. Mu Bai's eyes quickly lit up red. 2 stronger and thicker lasers roared out from both eyes. Wait for the light to dissipate. The white pigeon was bombarded until there was not even a scum left. The powerful laser flashing in front of them made everyone tremble. Their weapons are nothing compared to lasers. No comparison at all. The idea of running away rose in everyone's heart. Who the hell are you? The black-headed man trembled. At this moment, the powerful backer is not even bullshit in front of Mu Bai. No longer can you hope that Jin Bing's reputation can overwhelm Mu Bai. Just call me Black Spider. Black Spider. What's your relationship with Black Deadpool? You can tell by the uniform style that I'm a fan of his. I'm also a fan of his. At the critical moment, the black-headed man seems to have found a little hope of survival. Are you a fan of Black Deadpool too? That's right, so we are also considered our own people. I really admire your desire to survive, and forcibly drew closer to me in order to survive. One sentence tells the black-headed man's desire to survive. Take fans as gold medals for avoiding death at critical moments. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 60. Crit spider telepathy plus 10 by 2, current spider telepathy, 200. Spider telepathy reaches 200, activates the spider's future sensing, and automatically predicts all dangers that will be encountered within 1 day. Super crit. God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 260. Mu Bai approached the black-headed man and patted his shoulder. The black-headed man was sweating profusely. In the past, relying on the fact that there was gold in the mountain behind it. Years of running rampant in Hell's Kitchen. Now I have to bow my knees when I encounter higher mountains. Leave me alone, for the sake of our Black Deadpool fans. I forgot to tell you, I still have an identity. What? That is the leader of the Black Deadpool fan club, who specializes in cleaning up the trash in the fan club. I have just seen all the things you will do in the next 7 days. I will let you go tonight. You will take the lives of innocent people to vent your dissatisfaction today. So I can tell you clearly that you are dead. Announce the date of death of the black-headed man. At the same time let everyone around you know that you will not let them go. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 80. Crit, spider silk plus 10 by 2, current spider silk, 20. Super crit, God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 280. No, the black-headed man couldn't accept the reality and shook his head. After all, there are countless banknotes in his home. Women and cars are playing softly. Don't want to die and lose everything. But Mu Bai doesn't care about that. In the next second, the black-headed man couldn't move at all. A ball of flames enveloped the whole body, directly burned to death by the flames. See the misery of the boss. The younger brothers around couldn't stand anymore. Pulled his legs and fled in all directions. Why run away? It's better to stay as a corpse. The voice just fell. Everyone's bodies were on fire. All screaming and roaring. Finally fell to the ground and turned into ashes. At this moment, the pier in the middle of the night finally quieted down. Get rid of everyone. Mu Bai took 2 cash boxes. All firearms in the air were taken away. The other 2 boxes contained a lot of harmful contraband. It burned straight away, after processing. Slowly dropped the container in the air. I saw Peter curled up into a ball with his eyes closed. Peter is over, you should go home. Hear Mu Bai's voice. Peter snapped his eyes open. When I looked up, the surrounding gang members were gone. There was only a burning smell. Where are they? It's all in the air. In the air? It doesn't matter, I have to call Aunt May first. Aunt May must be very worried about me now. Peter hurriedly took out his cell phone and dialed. Aunt May and Uncle Ben on the other end of the phone were already in a panic. Aunt May kept calling Peter's classmates. Want to know the whereabouts of Peter. And Uncle Ben ran outside and kept calling Peter's name. At this moment, I saw Peter calling. The two were naturally extremely excited. Peter, are you okay? Aunt May cried out excitedly. Uncle Ben was both happy and angry. Luckily Peter is fine. Aunt May, I'm sorry, I accidentally fell asleep outside just now. It's fine, it's fine. Where are you? I'll pick you up, Ben Parker asked. No, it's very close, I'll go back immediately. Let's not talk about it, I'll go back now. After hanging up the phone, Peter turned to look at Mu Bai. When will we go back? Uncle Ben and Aunt May are in a hurry. You can go back, let me see how your recording is going. You mean the gangster video, or else? I was almost shot to death, how could it be videotaped? That means that the group of people just now died in vain? Peter thinks you don't care about the lives of those people. Instead, pay more attention to the video. I don't even know why you insist on videotaping. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 100. Crit, spider silk plus 10 by 2, current spider silk, 40. Super crit, God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 300. It's impossible for anyone to risk being shot to take pictures, Peter retorted angrily. Then you can call your Uncle Ben, I just finished playing. Call him again and tell him to go to sleep at Harry's house tonight, and you can't go home to the county until you complete the task you gave. One sentence makes Peter's head buzzing. He didn't expect you to be so persistent. I never thought you would not let him go home. I even thought about the reason. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 120. Crit, spider silk plus 10 by 2, current spider silk, 60. Super crit, God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 320. 3 plus method. Dirty words just on the lips. Peter only spoke half of it, because Mu Bai's strength is too strong. He dare not offend. In case of anger, maybe he killed himself. By then everything will be worthless. Can I make a video for you tomorrow night? No, only tonight. But Uncle Ben and the others are already in a hurry. Don't worry, I just asked duplication to imitate you and tell Aunt May that I won't be going home tonight. End of a sentence. Even take the leave for Peter. Peter can only find other reasons to avoid the risk of dying himself. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 140. Crit, spider silk plus 10 by 2, current spider silk, 80. Super crit, God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 340. I don't want to die yet. Don't worry, you can't die with brother here. After speaking, he put his arms around Peter's waist again and rose into the air. But this time Peter was not as excited as the first time. On the contrary, I feel very uncomfortable. Soon the two came to the sky above the city of Hell's Kitchen. It landed in front of a rental house that looked a bit old. What are we doing here? Peter pressed. He hasn't recovered from the shadow of the gunfight just now. So no mood to video. You just need to record the video, don't ask too much about anything else. If there is another mistake, I will let Mary Jane sing and sing every night. Don't touch Mary Jane. Peter was taken aback. He swallowed his saliva. Then the 970 and the two opened the door and entered the rental room. At the moment, the man on duty at the door of the rental house was lying on a chair and looking at his mobile phone. Hearing the knock on the door, he immediately sat up. When seeing two strangers, subconsciously, he took out the pistol in his pocket. Who are you? I'm here to visit the funeral coffin. This is not a funeral coffin, get out. Not a funeral coffin? Why did you die here? In the next second, the man on duty became an ice sculpture. What have you done? Just a little magic. Without much explanation, he led Peter to a room door and knocked. Anyone there? The four people playing mahjong in the room were instantly disturbed. Who is it? Your father is here, open the door quickly, boy. Why did your father come to look for you at night? How do I know? Besides, I didn't tell him that I work here. The man who spoke first scratched his head. Hurry up and take a look, don't let your father find out what's going on here, otherwise even if it's your biological father, we can't guarantee his safety. Then I'll go and have a look. The man got up and went to open the door. But just walked to the door. But when he came head on, he broke the door and kicked him. The whole person was kicked back and knocked over the mahjong table. The door opened so slowly, is there anyone like you who has a son? Wow. Mahjong is scattered all over the place. The man who was kicked out was killed on the spot. The remaining three people saw that the visitor was not kind. Without talking nonsense, he immediately took out his pistol. Bang, bang, bang. The three fired one shot at a time. But the fired bullet shoots in the opposite direction. He shot through the foreheads of the three of them on the spot. Plasma splashed 3 feet, and behind him is Peter, clutching the camera tightly. Frightened by the scene just now, his legs went weak. He had never seen such a bloody scene when he was so big. Even if you see it in a movie, you will feel unappetizing. Now I really see the scene where the human brain is pierced by a bullet. In an instant, I felt the food in my stomach tumbling continuously. Peter, it's all small scenes, go back and watch more pulp movies to help develop your mind. A reminder to Peter, with Peter's mentality of not daring to watch horror movies, he really can't handle the murder scene. But Peter doesn't think watching more horror movies can adapt to the scene in front of him. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 160. Crit, spider silk plus 10 by 2, current spider silk, 100. Spider spinning reaches 100, activate cobweb, any part of your body can shoot out tough and viscous white cobweb. Super crit, God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 360. Vomit. Peter bent over and retched. Right now he just wants to go home and sleep peacefully. Don't want to go on a nightmarish trip. Don't make disgusting noises at night. Mew Bai patted Peter on the back. Peter's nausea dissipated in an instant. The original sleepy physical condition has returned to its best. You. What did you do to me? Don't talk now, don't worry about videotaping. Maybe you want to attract other people's attention. Just finished talking to Peter. Gangsters in other rooms heard the noise. They took their guns and ran to the corridor to check. They looked left and right. Soon I saw Mew Bai, who was dressed strangely. What kind of monster is that? Holy shit, Deadpool.
Run. Black Deadpool is here. What? How did he come here?
Everyone showed fear when they heard the name of Black Deadpool. His legs trembled uncontrollably. Hey, keep your eyes open and take a good look, I'm not some Black Deadpool. There is a difference between me and the Black Deadpool uniform. See the white cobwebs on the uniform. This is a decoration that is not on the Black Deadpool uniform. Besides, Black Deadpool is much weaker than me, so there's no need for you to run away. One sentence makes the big stone in everyone's heart fall to the ground. Thought it was the Black Deadpool coming. It turned out to be a copycat of Black Deadpool. Everyone is mad at your surprise visit. Speed. Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 180. Crit, spider silk plus 10 by 2, current spider silk, 120. Super crit, God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 380. Who are you? The man standing at the front shouted at Mew Bai with his gun raised. They will definitely shoot if they are not satisfied with the answer. I am the hero of the new season of Marvel, Black Spider, who is positioned as an agile assassin and the new father of a shooter. What? Everyone was confused by Mew Bai's introduction. But it is determined that the person who looks like the Black Deadpool in front of him is not himself. Bang bang bang. Immediately following the corridor, gunshots continued. Mu Bai stood still and used his position to avoid bullets. If brother hadn't positioned himself as an assassin just now, he would have frozen you all long ago. Mu Bai leapt over the eaves and rushed towards the crowd. The cobweb shoots continuously from the wrist. Whizzing. Soon everyone is firmly trapped by cobweb. Let us go. What kind of monster is this? I'm not a monster. Did Peter take a good photo just now? It's done. Peter hid in the room and looked out. Then you can go back to your room, because the next scene will be more bloody. Mu Bai stretched out the cobweb, stuck a gun and pulled it to his hand. Shoot at the gang members who are bundled into rice dumplings. There were screams and gunshots in the corridor. I hope you don't live next door, otherwise he will be late for work tomorrow. The gunshots in the corridor attracted other gang members to come with guns. They didn't see Mu Bai's strength. Just treat it as an invasion by other gangs. Until I saw the dead body in the corridor where Mu Bai was. I was so scared that I didn't even have the strength to hold a gun. Less than 3 minutes. All gang members in the rental house were killed. The corridors at the moment are strewn with corpses. The smell of blood filled the entire rented house. And Peter, who was hiding in the room, finally couldn't help but knelt down and vomited out. At the beginning, Mu Bai was regarded as a hero. Now he has been regarded as a demon who kills without blinking an eye. Peter, don't imitate me, we handle things differently. After solving everyone, Mu Bai specially came to care about Peter. His hand patted Peter's back lightly. Do not touch me. Peter pushed it away. I don't want to have any physical contact with Mu Bai. You murderer, even though they are gangsters, they won't kill them all. Peter wiped the vomit off his mouth. He stood up and confronted Mu Bai angrily. Don't worry, these people deserve to die. Even if you deserve death, you shouldn't be the one to do it. It should be handed over to the law. Peter continued to growl, and this sentence made Mu Bai startled. Seeing that Mu Bai had stopped talking, Peter thought he had woken him up. Was about to say something more. In the next second, he was knocked to the ground by Mu Bai's slap. Why are you talking so loudly? I'm not deaf. You. Peter was slapped by Mu Bai. Without saying anything, he turned and left. No longer caring what Mu Bai will do to him next. Even with a gun to the back, Peter will never stop leaving. It's just that Mu Bai didn't call him. He grabbed Peter's back collar directly. Pull him down to the ground. Forcibly dragged to go inside. Let me go. Don't worry, I'll take you to a place. Whether Peter likes it or not. Go in the direction of the basement. What are you doing? Want to kill someone? Peter struggled. But no matter what, there is no escape. Go in and see for yourself. Mu Bai kicked open the basement door. Wait to throw Peter in. Peter quickly got up and tried to resist. But when he saw the real face of the basement, the whole person froze in place. He saw many women. Even children were kept in iron cells in the basement. Everyone was staring at him with pitiful and helpless eyes. This. What's going on here? Didn't you read that the recent news always reports missing people? The missing people are actually detained by them for human experiments, and even children are not spared. Shocked Peter's heart. I thought you were a devil, but I didn't expect this group of people to be more devoid of conscience than you. I never thought that you came here to save the missing persons. Looking at the women and children around, Peter felt that he was wrong about you. But still dissatisfied with your decisive approach. If it were him, he would tie up criminals and send them to the police station, so that they would be punished by law. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2. Current speed of light, 200. Crit, spider silk plus 10 by 2. Current spider silk, 140. Super crit, God perspective plus 10 by 2. Current God perspective, 400. Mu Bai waved his hand. All the locks of the cellar in the basement fell to the ground. The cell door opened automatically. The eyes of the women and children inside instantly widened. Quickly rushed out of the cage. They scrambled without leaving a single thank you. Chi Shushu rushed out of the basement, because at the moment they long for freedom too much. So that he doesn't care who saves himself. But there were also several women who came up to Mu Bai. Although did not speak, but thanks were already expressed from the expressions and eyes. Let's go. With my black spider here, the previous Hell's Kitchen will no longer exist. Also, don't forget to publicize your heroic deeds after you go out. Watching the hostages fleeing one after another, Peter, who originally complained about Mu Bai's cold blood, also changed his mind. Okay Peter, get up, It's time for me to take you home. Mew Bai pulled up Peter, who was slumped on the ground. I didn't seem to have recorded the whole thing just now, I only recorded the first clip. It's okay because I don't need your video. Unnecessary? Peter was a little confused. I also complained that it was not recorded well. Punish yourself for recording it all over again. And now it says no more. Yes, because I have a professional photographer, and I don't need others to record it all. After speaking, the invisible photographer appeared behind Peter. I saw an invisible person following me all the time. Peter couldn't help being surprised. You have a photographer, then? Then you asked me to come over to help. Do you know how dangerous it was just now? I almost died. It's not that you didn't die, it's all about exercising your courage. Fact. Peter couldn't hold back at all. Being busy with relationships all night and almost dying is a waste of work. It doesn't make any sense. Don't worry about Peter, brother actually protected you. Mew Bai picked up the gun and shot Peter. The bullet could only hit a position 50 centimeters in front of Peter. Shoot Peter continuously. All the bullets fell to the ground. None of the shots hit Peter. What's in front of me? Peter moved forward curiously. Don't touch it, I have cancelled the barrier. Before Peter could react, Mew Bai carried him and flew out of the rental house. Not long after the two left, police cars surrounded the rental house. The gunshots aroused dissatisfaction among neighbors. So they called the police decisively, but the police did not see any bodies when they entered. Just look at the damage inside the rental house. It looked like there had been a serious fight. Send Peter home. The time has come to more than 1 o'clock in the morning. Uncle Ben and Aunt May sat on the sofa and sighed. Do you think Peter is hating me? Ben Parker took a sip of his wine and said slowly. No, I believe Peter understands your hard conscience. Aunt May comforted him by kissing him lightly. When he comes back tomorrow, I should apologize to him. Ben Parker has always felt guilty. Especially the image of Peter leaving home with tears in his eyes has not been deleted from his mind. On the contrary, it became more and more profound. Just when the two fell in love, the door was opened suddenly. Peter staggered in. Originally, he wanted Mew Bai to send him back to the room directly. But after hearing Ben Parker's conversation with Aunt May in the living room, Mew Bai directly pushed Peter into the living room. Peter. See, Peter is back. Ben Parker stood up in a moment of excitement. He asked again in an extremely gentle tone, didn't you say you were going to sleep at Harry's house? I'm not used to sleeping at Harry's house, so I came back anyway. Peter scratched the back of his head, his eyes were all fixed on the shoes with his head lowered and dodging. Harry's house is some distance away from ours. How did you come back? Why didn't you let me pick you up? Ben Parker took a few steps closer. His driver sent me back. I have nothing to do. I'll go back to my room first. After speaking, he stepped on the stairs and went straight to the second floor. From entering the house to going upstairs, the eyes of the two did not meet. Ben Parker, on the other hand, kept his eyes on Peter. It seemed like he was afraid that Peter would disappear suddenly. Ben Parker expected to spend the night with guilt. But wait until Peter walks to the door of the room. He stopped suddenly and turned to look at Ben Parker. Thank you, Uncle Ben. I know you have always been good to me, and I will definitely not let you down in the future. After speaking, he opened the door and entered the room. And this sentence completely untied Ben Parker's knot. He clapped his hands happily like a child. May, did you hear that? Peter doesn't hate me. I said earlier that Peter is a good boy and won't let us down. In the dead of night, after Peter returned to the room, he fell headfirst on the bed in relief. He breathed a sigh of relief. He turned around and stared at the ceiling. Think about what happened tonight. Peter felt shuddering. And this feeling is enough to make him unforgettable all his life. Especially the bloody picture has not been erased from Peter's mind for a long time. For distraction, Peter jumped out of bed and crawled under the bed. In the innermost box under the bed, I found a sexy girl magazine. This is an adult magazine. The content inside is enough to make people feel excited and want to do something after reading it. After flipping through 2 pages, Peter's mood obviously improved. I hope that I can dream of a sexy girl in my dream at night. Not the bodies that died tonight. He glanced at the watch on the wall. It was already past 3 o'clock in the morning. Peter tucked sexy pinup magazines under his pillow. Get up and take off your clothes quickly. He didn't have the strength to change into pajamas anymore. Lie down and fall asleep quickly. It's just that when I lay down, I found that the bed was inexplicably tight. Are you going to lie down and sleep on me? The sound behind him made Peter jump up suddenly. When he saw Mew Bai on the bed, his face turned pale with fright. You. Why are you on my bed? It's too late and I don't want to go back, so I want to spend the night in your room. Mew Bai lay on the bed with his legs crossed, because Peter's family is not rich. His bed is a simple single bed. Mew Bai filled the bed by lying on it alone. You can even hear the creaking sound of the bed falling apart. You can't sleep in my room, otherwise where would I sleep? You can sleep on the floor. Don't make trouble, I have to go to school tomorrow. Okay then, I'll go to sleep on the sofa in the living room. Etc. Heard to go to the living room. Peter quickly stopped behind the door. You'd better sleep on the bed, I'll sleep on the floor. That's wrong with you, Peter. Mew Bai lay back on the bed again. He took out the Sexy Girl magazine under the pillow. Peter, I didn't expect you to still have this. You. Give it back to me. Peter wanted to grab it. But Mew Bai quickly entangled his body with spider webs. Turn the page and enjoy. Peter, you only get credit for watching, and the deputy can sleep all the sexy girls in the magazine. In addition, I will keep this magazine first, and I will give it to you after I collect the sexy girls on it. Show your own charm and strength all the time. Peter is jealous, but as long as there is Mary Jane, the magazine girl will be a cloud. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 220. Crit, spider silk plus 10 by 2, current spider silk, 120. Super crit, God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 420. You can take the magazine, but let me go. Mew Bai snapped his fingers lightly. The cobweb bound to Peter fell to the ground instantly. You better only sleep one night, I don't want to sleep on the floor every day. Peter said as he took out a blanket from the closet and threw it on the floor. Cover yourself with clothes as a quilt, although the floor is too hard. But the drowsy Peter fell asleep as soon as he lay down. As for Mew Bai, he wasn't going to sleep at all. Looking at Peter's messy room, I suddenly had inspiration. The next morning, Peter was awakened by repeated knocks on the door. He looked up at the alarm clock lying on the floor. At the moment there are only 5 minutes left before class. Who is this? Turn off the alarm clock for me. Peter jumped up and grabbed the alarm clock and yelled. Then get dressed quickly. Peter, are you awake? Ben Parker put his ear to the door, listening to the movement inside. I woke up Uncle Ben. Let's go after breakfast, it's already late anyway. No, Peter hurriedly put on his clothes, put on his school bag and opened the door of the room. Uncle Ben looked in with a kind face, but the things in the room surprised him. See Uncle Ben's expression. Then Peter remembered that Mew Bai slept on the bed last night. When I look back and want to explain, but he was also surprised by the scene in front of him. The original simple room suddenly changed. The old wooden bed was replaced with a European-style soft bed. Blue sky and white clouds are painted on the ceiling. The furniture is full of European aristocratic style. The floors are brand new mahogany. A windowsill is no longer 2 flimsy panes of glass. It's 2 smart windows that close automatically. Peter. Am I still dreaming? Peter and Uncle Ben were still in disbelief. In the living room, Aunt May had already heard about the black spider on TV. The Queen's Police Department received a number of calls for help last night. The callers are basically all women and children who have disappeared in recent days. It is stated that they were all rescued by a man who claimed to be a black spider. Now let me interview the lady around me. She is the missing person who escaped from the criminal's den last night. Hi, can you tell me more about what happened last night? The camera turns. A woman with a haggard face and messy hair appears in the frame. The female reporter handed the microphone to the woman's mouth. I heard gunshots and screams from upstairs last night, and thought it was a fight between gangsters, but less than 10 minutes later, a man in a black uniform smashed the door to the basement. I have never forgotten his tall figure. The black uniform you mentioned is called Black Spider? Yes, he just raised his hand, and all the locks of the iron cage where we were held were unlocked. Did you just say that when he raised his hand, all the locks of the cage were unlocked? That's right, and he single-handedly wiped out the villains who imprisoned us. Have you seen it? No, but we didn't see anyone coming out to stop us after we went out, so it must have been dealt with by the Black Spider. The woman clenched her fists firmly. There was admiration for the Black Spider in his eyes. Black Spider is a hero. At this time, another voice appeared behind him. Another woman shouted the name of the Black Spider emotionally. It seems that she is also the woman who was rescued by Mubai last night. What does that man named Black Spider look like? His uniform was similar to Black Deadpool, and when I got home I found an extra card in his pocket. The woman took out the card from her pocket. The female reporter took a look at the card. It's like a QR code. QR code? The woman seemed to understand something. Immediately excited to open the phone to scan. After scanning, I saw a Douyin account named Black Spider. When people in front of the TV know that Black Spider has a Douyin number, immediately frantically search for attention. It's just that Black Spider's Douyin account has only one video. Content 1.9 in the video has nothing to do with last night's case. Only a black figure was swinging around like Tarzan in the city in the night sky. It can be said that it has enough mystery. Ben, Peter, come and see. There is another hero named Black Spider. Aunt May smiled happily. Hear the word, Black Spider. Peter instantly thought of Mubai who nearly killed him last night. The clogged brain instantly cleared up. Guess the room must have been arranged by Mubai. But he is not grateful for Mubai's help, because he couldn't explain the room to Uncle Ben. In addition, I don't like the current style of the room. Compared with European style, he prefers a minimalist, modern style. Peter, I will help you ask the teacher for leave later, you can rest at home for a day today. Ben Parker patted Peter on the shoulder tenderly. Then he turned and went downstairs to find Aunt May. He was also curious about what kind of person Aunt May's Black Spider was. Peter's side was still in the confusion of the new room. And Mubai has already enjoyed it. He based information on Peter's magazine. Found 2 cover girls from the magazine. At the moment, the 3 of them were soaking in the indoor swimming pool of the villa. Feel the taste of being fed grapes by beauties on both sides. Ah. Tony opened his mouth. Tony, take a bite of my grapes too. Delicious. Don't forget to take a photo with brother while eating, because I have to send it to a lonely child. Mubai raised his camera and took an intimate group photo of the 3 of them. Send it to Peter when it's over. Let him know he's not lying. Peter can only look at the portraits in magazines. But Mubai can embrace Peter's fantasies left and right. Tony, I didn't see you last night, so I went out to have fun again, so I went to be a hero. That's when Natasha Romanoff strode into the pool. Have you read the news? Mubai chewed on the grapes with a smug expression on his face. Definitely saw it. Hell's Kitchen's new hero Black Spider. I can guess who it is just by looking at the uniform of Natasha Romanoff. You are too detailed. I'm glad to have a smart assistant like you. Who is the Black Spider? The magazine girl beside Mubai asked. You don't even know about Black Spider. The news is all about Black Spider recently. He's the hero of Hell's Kitchen, much better than that daredevil. Another magazine girl put her arm around Mubai and said. I got a call from Tony this morning, so I came right away and didn't check my phone on the way. I heard that Black Spider is also a fan of Black Deadpool. Black Deadpool. The man who killed Magneto. I'm a fan too. What about you, Tony? Do you like Black Spider or Black Deadpool? The 2 women asked at the same time. I don't like Black Spider or Black Deadpool, I prefer Black Widow. Natasha Romanoff was taken aback. Your flirting skills have improved a lot. Not even Natasha Romanoff expected you to say that. It's no wonder the 2 women next to me are like Nympho. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2. Current speed of light, 240. Crit, Spider Silk plus 10 by 2. Current Spider Silk, 140. Super Crit, God's Perspective plus 10 by 2. Current God's Perspective, 440. Cut. The devil will believe what you say. Natasha Romanoff rolled her eyes in disdain. However, the magazine girl saw her expression, and suddenly said angrily, You are an assistant, how do you talk to Tony? An assistant dares to talk to the boss like that. She felt that she had to discipline Mubai well. In this way, you may be able to get a decent job here at Mubai. Who are you? Do you know the consequences of talking to me? Natasha Romanoff scares magazine girls away with just one look. If she is willing to let her kneel down and beg for mercy every minute. Tony, why is your assistant so fierce? I wouldn't have spoken to you like that. I will do whatever you ask me to do. The magazine girl said tea like tea. Putting on a pitiful expression to win Mubai's sympathy. But Mubai only regards them as inflatable dolls and tool people. Have no feelings for them. The reason to find them. Totally wanted to take some photos and send them to Peter. Let Peter understand the importance of money to heroes again. I like Natasha Romanoff's straightforward personality more than green tea. Mu Bai spoke without politeness. Then climb out of the pool. Two magazine girls crawled out of the pool right after them. Put a bath towel on the emerging Mu Bai. Tony, do you want to go back to your room? The magazine beauty twisted her ass, standing in front of Mu Bai showing off her charming curves. It seems that he is eager to go back to the room with Mu Bai immediately to deal with business. Looking at the poses of the beautiful women in the magazine, Mu Bai had no expression on his face. That's a far cry from Natasha Romanoff. You go home first, I still have things to deal with. Leaving aside a cold sentence, he walked straight towards the exit. Upon hearing Mu Bai told them all to go back, the magazine girl's face paled in an instant. They don't want to lose the days they can continue to enjoy in the villa. Compared to the outside, Tony's villa has it all. What should be outside the villa is not only there, but also more high-end. So the two rushed to catch up with bare feet. Tony, we don't have to go home. Yes, we will wait for your return and continue to serve you. Every woman looked at Mu Bai with affectionate eyes. I will call when I remember you. Now you can go to my assistant to collect some travel expenses. The ruthless reply let the two know that there is no chance. But as long as necessary, the two will still please you like a dog licking. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2. Current speed of light, 260. Crit, Spider Silk plus 10 by 2. Current Spider Silk, 160. Super Crit, God's Perspective plus 10 by 2. Current God's Perspective, 460. After finishing speaking, I will no longer respond. Straight out of the pool hall. Mu Bai then returned to the lab and changed into the nanomark armor. Compared with the mark armor I researched, the gap between the two is more than a star and a half. After all, the nanomark armor is Iron Man's pinnacle work. Moreover, it is the first 120 body armor that fully adopts nano-assembly technology. In terms of attack power, defense, portability, and maneuverability, it surpasses the previous 49 armors. The shape-shifting technology of seamless switching also enables it to integrate all the specialized functions of the Mark 8 to 40 armor for the first time, and the types of equipment are also extremely rich. The most glorious record is to take the first blood of Thanos. But there are 10 sets of nano armor Mu Bai like this. I almost forgot about today's lottery draw and egg opening. Open the lottery roulette at will. Open the golden egg to get shape-shifting King Kong Optimus Prime. Spend 400 million for 400 consecutive draws. Congratulations on getting Huawei mobile phones X10,000. Congratulations on drawing a full set of Mark 1 to 40 armor. Congratulations on drawing 200,000 grams of platinum. Congratulations on getting the Blue Fire Gatling X5000. Congratulations on getting the Annihilation 10 Fighter X10. Congratulations on drawing the Rat Charm of the Chinese Zodiac. Congratulations on getting the Zodiac Ox Charm. Congratulations on getting the Tiger Charm of the Chinese Zodiac. Congratulations on getting Lamborghini Poison X20. Congratulations for getting Finger Villa X5. Congratulations on drawing $100 million. Congratulations on drawing Aircraft Carrier X1. Congratulations on getting the Rubber Fruit X1. Congratulations on getting the Door Fruit X1, now I even have the shape-shifting King Kong. Finish all raffle items. Mu Bai focused on 5-finger villas. A villa is a villa. What is the finger villa? Driven by curiosity, Mu Bai put 5-finger file-size villas on the palm of his hand. Fly out of the villa, move your finger and throw the villa on the ground. Wow. The finger villa immediately changes to the normal villa file size after it lands. Mu Bai flew into the villa to check. The villa is a hardcover villa. There are all furniture and electrical appliances inside. You can check in directly with your bags. It saved Mu Bai a lot of trouble. The villa has 5 floors, covering an area of more than 1,000 square meters. Match with outdoor swimming pool, back garden, gym, dog playground, plantation and other lotus. Moreover, the decoration style and house style of each villa are different. Looking around, you can instantly see the difference between the 5 villas. This solves the problem of Brothers Collection. 5 large villas are enough to store my Mark armor. Because the surroundings of Tony's Cliff Villa are very wide, Mu Bai directly threw the 5-finger villas in different places. The second building is used to store Mark armor. A building used as a gathering place for the Avengers. One was used as a harem. The last one is his residence. Check out the villa. Mu Bai is ready to continue busy with the next work. Since the last time he defeated the terrorists as Iron Man Stark, It's been a while since Iron Man has been more powerful. Now the limelight of the Black Spider has become a hot topic. By the way, Iron Man is also popular. Directly use double duplication to dominate the headlines of major software. And the identity of the Black Deadpool does not need to be specially publicized. After all, it has become known all over the world. As long as the subsequent identity is bound to the Black Deadpool. Black Deadpool naturally heats up in Invisible. For example, Iron Man is the apprentice of Black Deadpool. Black Spider is a fan of Black Deadpool, no matter how powerful the two are. Also low Black Deadpool 1. So go ahead and promote Iron Man and Black Spider. Get along with the plan in your head. Mewbai came to Afghanistan wearing nano armor. Found Rhodes, who was studying blueprints outside at the moment. When I saw a brand new Mark armor falling in front of me. Rhodes and the other soldiers dared not take a breath. Because I have been threatened before. So no one dares to offend Iron Man anymore. Now Iron Man is back. It is inevitable that you will be afraid of finding fault again. Why are you here? Rhodes put away the drawings. Pushing away the chair, he stood up nervously. Don't be afraid of Rhodes. This time I'm not looking for trouble. I just wanted to express my apologies. Apologize? Rhodes was a little confused. Yes, I did go a little too far a few days ago, so I made a special trip to apologize this time. One sentence to resolve the contradiction between the two. Win Rhodes' favor and trust. The first goal is achieved. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2. Current speed of light, 280. Crit, Spider Silk plus 10 by 2. Current Spider Silk, 180. Super Crit. God's Perspective plus 10 by 2. Current God's Perspective, 480. I heard Iron Man actually apologizing. Rhodes' poker face instantly changed to a smiling face. Enemies should be resolved rather than knotted. Have a good relationship with Iron Man. It's better than a straight face. After all, they are no match for Iron Man. I don't even want to be an enemy of Iron Man. Look at what you said. We are actually wrong. We should not treat you as an enemy casually. That's right. The previous responsibility did lie with you, M.I. Jun. Turn around using Rhodes' words to directly clear up the previous mistakes. Rhodes didn't expect you to still have this operation. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2. Current speed of light, 300. Crit, Spider Silk plus 10 by 2. Current Spider Silk, 200. Spider Spinning reaches 200. Activates Toughness Enhancement. Cobweb Hardness, Toughness, Length increased by 5 times. Super Crit. God Perspective plus 10 by 2. Current God Perspective, 500. Rhodes couldn't speak directly, and didn't know what to say for a while. To express my apologies, I brought you a battle armor this time. After speaking, a battle armor fell from the sky in front of everyone. Warframe. When Rhodes saw another armor appeared. He also said that he would give it to himself. Rhodes hurriedly let his men evacuate first. You mean to give me this armor? That's right. This is the Diablo armor I made for you, and I modified it based on War Machine. Mewbai stood aside and introduced the Diablo armor. Rhodes listened attentively like a top student. For fear of missing any details. Thank you so much. I didn't expect you to give me such a big gift. I wanted to buy armor made by Tony at a high price, but I didn't expect to get armor made by Iron Man himself today. Rhodes closed his mouth in excitement. He stepped forward to take a closer look at the Diablo armor. His hands stroked the battle armor excitedly. How can I get your forgiveness? Definitely, definitely. From now on you will be our military advisor. We can cooperate, and your armored military will give you a higher price than Tony. That brother is leaving first, and you will understand the rest slowly. In addition, the battle armor comes with a smart butler. If you don't understand anything, you can just ask it. No problem, no problem. Thank you for the gift. Rhodes held out his hand happily. From the moment you hold your hands. The relationship between the two has been sublimated. After handing the Diablo armor to Rhodes, Mewbai left. Only Rhodes was ecstatic to look at the battle armor. If this battle armor is brought back to the military base, it is estimated that the general's jaw can be shocked. If mass production, the combat effectiveness of the military is nothing to say. But how to use it? Just call out the password. Where did Dad go? The armor will automatically cover it. Suddenly, a mechanical sound came from the dark destruction armor. Knowing the purpose, Rhodes hurriedly shouted, Where did Dad go? Daddy is here. There was another mechanical sound. The Diablo armor quickly separated. Then they were spliced? on Rhodes one by one. Soon Rhodes and Diablo formed a synthesis. He looked at the whole body in disbelief. So cool. Do you have any requests? Take me to fly. No problem. Brush. In the next second, Rhodes ascended directly to the sky. And flipped back and forth in the sky. After experiencing it for a while. Rhodes couldn't wait for the general to see how powerful Mark's armor was. Then drive the Mark armor and fly towards the military base. Call General Ross. Dialed. Hello? General Ross is me, Rhodes. Rhodes? Why is your number an unknown number? I'm in the battle frame now, using the technology of the battle frame. Battle armor? What's the situation? Iron Man gave me a set of battle armor, and I will drive the armor to find you now. Iron Man. The man who claims to be the strongest technology on Earth. That's right, he gave me a set of Diablo armor. Why would he suddenly give you the battle armor? Ross was puzzled. I won't be able to explain clearly for a while. I'm on my way to find you. You'll see this battle armor in a while. Okay. Then I'll wait for you. I'm planning to capture a Hulk recently, your armor may be useful. Finish the call with Ross. Rhodes was even more excited. Then speed up and fly towards the military base. But after flying for 10 minutes, it was found that the bottom has not become empty. On the contrary, urban buildings are getting denser and denser. It seems to have come to the bustling city center. Welcome to Times Square, New York. At this time, a reminder sound came from inside the armor. New work time? Is there any mistake? I clearly said it as a military base. Rhodes was stunned. Quickly change the location manually. He didn't want the citizens of New York to see Mark's armor. Unable to change destination. You do not have permission. Inaccessible. What's going on? Why don't you have permission? Rhodes frantically entered the password, but it doesn't help no matter what you do. Passers-by below at the moment have noticed a black armor floating in the air. F*K. Get out of here anyway. Got it, it's landing. What? Land, don't land. No matter how Rhodes roared. The battle armor still abruptly fell from the sky to the center of Times Square. Thousands of people immediately saw Mark's armor. Look, what's that? Alien. Looks like the Iron Man described in today's news. Isn't Iron Man red? Why is it black? Maybe it's a different color, I think black looks better. It may also be black iron, after all, there have been many heroes starting with black recently. Quickly take pictures and send them to Moments. We are the first fans to see Iron Man with our own eyes. It was the first time that everyone saw the cool and fashionable 847 Mark armor. They all stopped as if they were watching a piece of art they were interested in. Hey, are you Iron Man? A bold black man in the crowd walked over first. Looking at his mouth shape and movements, it seems that he is about to rap. Oh. I'm not Iron Man, he ruined my plan, I want to kill him now. As soon as these words came out, everyone's respectful eyes turned pale. The black man who wanted to approach also hurriedly stopped and turned back. What's going on? Why did you talk by yourself? And Rhodes, who was trapped in Mark's armor, had already lost control. Confused about what's happening right now. Completely unaware that Bai has cast him as a villain. The passers-by not far away still stopped and looked at Rhodes. Some passers-by didn't know whether Rhodes was joking. Most people are full of curiosity. I want to see what the Mark armor in front of me is going to do. Die. At this time, the machine gun on Mark's armored shoulder kept firing towards the ground. The passers-by around were startled by the sudden attack and screamed again and again. In an instant, Times Square was in a panic. Passers-by saw that Rhodes was serious. One screamed and scrambled and fled in all directions. Bai, who was standing on the roof of the building, was watching the situation below. Just intimidating is not enough, J.A.R.V.I.S. will do something more powerful, attacking buildings. Yes sir, remote control is in progress. Hey, what the hell is going on, stop quickly. Rhodes, who was helpless in the Mark armor, almost collapsed. What he did was undoubtedly criminal, if the military knew about it. He will definitely be deprived of his military rank and imprisoned for a lifetime. Boom. There was an explosion. Times Square has the iconic 3D electronic screen. Instantly shattered. The surrounding shops are also doomed. One palm shot from the Mark armor driven by Rhodes was enough to destroy 3 stores. Dozens of shops down a street have become piles of rubble. The last second was Times Square, the busiest place in New York. The next second became the ruins of war. People ran wildly. There were a lot of distress calls and shouts. As the destruction continues, New York police cars rushed to the scene. Heard someone in armor wreak havoc. Nearby police mobilized all police forces. 8 heavily armed police cars rushed to the scene of the destruction. When you see Rhodes, who is doing damage, thought it was Iron Man. He was called a hero a few days ago. Unexpectedly, it became a city destroyer at noon today. After the police car stopped, more than 30 police officers drew their guns and hid behind the police car and shot Rhodes. But the power of the pistol is like a decoration for the Mark armor. It doesn't hurt to hit. There is no power at all. The sheriff who came saw that the weapons and armor were not on the same level. I had to order the police to drag it first. He took out his phone and hastily turned to military firepower. But at this time, the Mark armor was irritated by the police's small troubles. Bend your knees. Jump to the police car position from a distance. He crushed a police car when he landed. 2 mechanical eyes glared at the sheriff and said, "What are you doing? Stop it. Are you trying to kill me? Damn it." Rhodes kept yelling at Mark's armor. But no one cared what Rhodes was saying. At the moment, the sheriff was frightened by Mark's armor that suddenly jumped in front of him. The phone in his hand fell to the ground before he could make a call. "You. Who are you? You can call me Megatron Rhodes. F*K. Don't say my name. Megatron Rhodes. You will always remember my name." After speaking, he swung his fist and hit the sheriff. Just when everyone closed their eyes and prayed for the sheriff, suddenly, 2 missiles flew from high in the sky and directly hit the back of Mark's armor. Boom. Next second, the Mark armor that Rhodes was on was blown out by the missile. The body flew high above the sheriff and landed not far away. Everyone watched Rhodes flying out in a panic. I secretly applauded in my heart. I thought it was the military sending support. Waiting for everyone to look up to the sky, a red figure dazzled by the sun slowly fell from the sky. Another robot. It's red, he's Iron Man. Let me just say, how could Iron Man, who has just become a hero, commit a crime? Great, we're saved. Iron Man save me. Woo. Finally waiting for you, but luckily I didn't give up. Mew Bai fell to the ground under the expectant eyes of everyone. Don't be afraid, everyone, your Iron Man is here. I still have a mobile phone in my hand, so I can quickly record it and post it on the internet after the battle is over, so that more people know that Iron Man saved New York. One sentence lets everyone help you complete the heat. One person has limited power to post videos. The effect of letting all the victims post videos is definitely dozens of times better than posting videos yourself. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2. Current speed of light, 320. Crit, Spider Silk plus 10 by 2. Current Spider Silk, 220. Super Crit, God's Perspective plus 10 by 2. Current God's Perspective, 520. Rhodes, who was blown to the ground on the other side, noticed Mew Bai. Call for help to Mew Bai as if seeing a savior. "She Dake is me, Rhodes, come and save me. The armor you gave me is out of control. I don't know what's going on. He didn't follow my orders at all, and I didn't have permission." "Did you forget to change the permissions? Meet Mew Bai." Rhodes immediately started talking. Constantly confide to Mew Bai the experience and grievance just now. Although Mew Bai heard it, but he pretended not to hear it. Still wanting to defeat Rhodes under the guise of upholding justice. Said a lot. There was no response from Mew Bai. This made Rhodes wonder for a moment. "Big She. Did you hear that?" Rhodes yelled hysterically. "Look at that guy standing up again." Mew Bai smiled and said to the crowd. The finger pointed to Mark Armor, who stood up again. The tone has a posture of the strong contemptuous of the weak. "Iron Man killed him, he ruined my fried chicken place. Kill him, he cost me my job. I just opened my business yesterday, and today I went bankrupt, all because of him. Come on, Iron Man." Voices continued to come from the ruins. Mew Bai enjoys the support of people like a star. "She Dake, come and save me, damn it, he can't seem to hear." Rhodes gathered his fists. And the chat between the two is not on the same channel at all. "Now let you taste the fate of being a bad guy." Mew Bai ignored Rhodes' request for help. Accelerate and rush towards the Mark Armor where Rhodes is. First, he rushed to the shoulder and knocked Rhodes against the distant wall. Then press him down and beat him hard. The heavy fist hit Mark's helmet and made a bang-bang sound. Seeing this scene made everyone around feel extremely happy. They even wanted to join in beating Rhodes together. At the moment, Rhodes' armor was controlled throughout the entire process and he was powerless to fight back. After playing, Mu Bai picked up one leg of Mark's armor and dragged it for a distance. The body twisted. With a sudden force, the Mark armor was thrown into the sky. Then he raised his arm and fired a more powerful palm cannon into the air. Boom! The explosion resounded through the street. Rhodes in the air also disappeared in the explosion. See the villain who destroyed Times Square defeated. The people who were hiding climbed out of the ruins one after another this time. They cheered loudly around Mu Bai. Little did he know that Rhodes' Mark armor flew away through the exploding firework. It wasn't blown to pieces. That's great, Iron Man, you're a real hero. Can a hero get me an autograph? You managed to save Times Square. If only you had come earlier, my fried chicken shop wouldn't have to close down. Look at what you said, it's good that people don't die, and the fried chicken shop can be rebuilt if it's gone. Give way. Outside the crowd, the sheriff led some police officers through the crowd and walked in. They also want to see what Iron Man looks like with their own eyes. Why do you also want to ask me for an autograph? Mu Bai joked. Definitely want. You are my savior. If you need any help in the future, just come to me. I don't think there will be such a day, because the characters I can't deal with, you can't deal with even more. Improving one's strength does not give face to the police at all. At the same time, there is nothing wrong with saying that the police can only deal with ordinary people, and armored villains like Rhodes, they can only be used as cannon fodder. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 340. Crit, Spider Silk plus 10 by 2, current Spider Silk, 240. Super Crit, God's Perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's Perspective, 540. Haha is right. The sheriff smiled awkwardly. Other police officers ignored the sheriff's face. They took out their mobile phones to take pictures of Iron Man at close range. It's getting late, there is a chance that you will see the figure on TV. Also, don't forget to follow and comment 3 times in a row. After speaking, Mu Bai flew out of the crowd. Fly towards the sky. Watching the figure of Iron Man gradually disappearing. The Times Square crowd got back on track to clean up the battlefield. Less than 3 minutes passed. Mu Bai returned to the backyard of the villa. At the moment, Rhodes stood motionless in the backyard like a stone statue. J. A. R. V. I. S. Release control mode. Yes sir, it has been fully lifted. The voice just fell. All the battle armor on Rhodes fell off automatically. Rhodes inside had already passed out. The body that broke away from the armor fell directly forward. Mu Bai took a step forward and wrapped his arms around Rhodes' body that was about to fall. With a light touch of a finger, Rhodes woke up. Physical and mental state are at their peak. You. Just opened my eyes. Rhodes sees Iron Man next to him. Angry words are incomplete. Get up and push away. His hands were on his hips and his eyes were wide open. Come in for tea, we'll talk over it. What kind of tea are you drinking? Are you still in the mood to drink tea? Do you know what you did to control me just now? If not, a commercial street will be destroyed. It's easy for you to say, but you know it's a serious crime. Rhodes shouted angrily. I thought Mu Bai sent the armor out of kindness. Now it's better to just let him drive the armor and destroy a street. If you insist on calling it a crime, it's because you have nothing to do with me. One sentence to clarify the relationship. It was indeed Rhodes who drove the armor to destroy it. There is also no evidence to quality Iron Man. The situation is only harmful to Rhodes. Speed. Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 360. Crit, Spider Silk plus 10 by 2, current Spider Silk, 260. Super Crit, God's Perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's Perspective, 560. You. If you don't want to be caught by me, I advise you to leave now. Otherwise I will announce that you are the culprit who drove the armor to destroy the New York Square. At that time, do you think people will believe Iron Man who solved the crisis or Rhodes who drove the wrong operation? One sentence makes Rhodes retort rudely, he didn't expect you to be so cheap. Send armor to improve your reputation. But helplessly, I am not an opponent, so I can only use my tail to escape from the factory. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 380. Crit, Spider Silk plus 10 by 2, current Spider Silk, 280. Super Crit, God's Perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's Perspective, 580. You were vicious. I wanted to confront Mu Bai for a while. But the current situation is not optimistic. Rhodes could only run and jump out of the villa. Although there is still anger in my heart, but he didn't intend to denounce Mu Bai either. After all, he was also responsible for destroying Times Square. If you rashly say it is Mu Bai, it's hard to believe that he did it as Iron Man. And Rhodes will be used as a scapegoat as the person who drives the Mark armor. After thinking about it carefully, Rhodes decided to hide this secret B. Farewell, Rhodes. Mu Bai changed into thin clothes after entering the villa. He holds a glass of high-end red wine in his right hand. Holding 2 empty goblets in his left hand, he walked slowly to Natasha Romanoff. Natasha Romanoff at the moment is wearing a smart dodgy maid outfit specially customized for her by Mu Bai. 2 fox ears raised high. A nimble foxtail can swing back and forth according to the mood. Natasha Romanoff, have the 2 women been sent away? Yes, already left. I hope you only gave me a little travel expenses. After all, they lived in my villa and slept in my swimming pool, and they didn't leave me a penny. So rich and yet so stingy, sleep in vain, but you have to charge in reverse. Natasha Romanoff, who has read countless people, can't see through you at all. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 400. 747, critical strike, spider silk plus 10 by 2, current spider silk, 300. Spider spinning reaches 300, activate adamantium silk, cobweb hardness can reach adamantium for the enemy, but it is like cotton for you. Super crit, God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 600. I shouldn't have let them go. What's the matter, just turned off in the morning, and turned off in the afternoon? No, I just want them to clean the outdoor pool for me to pay off the bills for eating, drinking and sleeping here. You just talk about it, it's impossible to do that. I will, because they are a serious interruption of our personal space. Come on Tony, you must have said that to a lot of people. Brother, I can assure you, I only said this to you. Mu Bai smiled. Put 2 empty goblets on the table. Each added half a cup. Come for a drink? Sorry, I don't drink. You have only 2 choices now, one is to clink glasses with me politely, the other is to pinch your mouth and pour it into your mouth. Overbearing presidential speech. Natasha Romanoff has never seen such a brazen person like you. I had the idea of sneaking away in the middle of the night. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 420. Crit psychokinesis plus 10 by 2, current psychokinesis, 20. Super crit, God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 620. Then I'll choose the first option. Natasha Romanoff was forced to accept the wine glass handed over by Mu Bai. He was about to drink but was stopped by Mu Bai. What's the matter? Don't you plan to let me drink again? Definitely isn't it boring to just drink too much, I can teach you a new way of drinking. A new way of drinking. Mouth to mouth. Natasha Romanoff, what are you thinking? I'm talking about having a drink. Mu Bai intertwined arms with Natasha Romanoff while talking and laughing. Natasha Romanoff was extremely resistant in her heart. But on the surface, I can only accept it with a smile. Bite the bullet and finish the cup of wine with Mu Bai. After drinking, can I leave? I've been working with you for the past few days and I need to rest. Go and rest, brother is not the kind of unreasonable boss. With Mu Bai's permission, Natasha Romanoff walked out of the room with a sigh of relief. Because there are nights when Mu Bai is there. Natasha Romanoff always sweats profusely and hands and feet are weak. Farewell Natasha Romanoff. Mu Bai came to the living room board. J. A. R. V. I. S. Search recent popularity. Searching. The following hot news has been found. A projected electronic screen appeared in front of him. It was playing about what happened in Times Square in New York at noon today. Don't question it, what you're seeing right now is Times Square. There was an unprecedented attack here this morning, and all the shops were blown up by a villain similar to Iron Man. Luckily there were no fatalities, and all this is due to the help of Iron Man. If Iron Man hadn't appeared in time, I'm afraid not only Times Square would be destroyed, but even the whole of New York. Let's salute what Iron Man has done for us. The reporter in the screen just finished speaking. Many more witnesses crowded into the frame. From their mouths, they even said a lot of words to pay tribute to Iron Man. Iron Man is the big hero. I love Iron Man, he saved our family's life. If it weren't for the timely appearance of Iron Man, we really don't know what to do. Yeah, the New York Police Department was directly run over by that fake Iron Man, and the sheriff was almost killed. If it weren't for Iron Man, all the cops in New York would be dead today. Iron Man should wait until all the cops in New York are finished. What are you talking about, bastard? Why, am I wrong? Hey, don't fight. The originally harmonious picture suddenly appeared two men facing each other with fists and feet. Watch TV reports and Iron Man hot stories on the projection. Mew Bai held up his wine glass and nodded in satisfaction. Unlock achievement. Jedi Rescue plus 10 million popularity. Unlock achievement. Deeply rooted in the hearts of the people plus 20 million popularity points. Unlock achievement. Rescue 100 people plus 5 million popularity points. Unlock achievement. News popularity plus 2 million popularity value. Unlock achievement. Breaking 1000 news articles plus 10 million popularity points. Unlock achievement. 10 million followers plus 20 million popularity. Unlock achievement. Third status percent fans plus 20 million popularity. Unlock achievement. Mysterious hero plus 2 million popularity. It's time to show Iron Man while it's still hot. Then on a whim, he was ready to continue building the armor. In the blink of an eye, people came to the laboratory. Instruct the duplications to practice the manufacture of a new generation of armor again. The last time the Zodiac battle armor was broadcast live, the effect was directly full. This time it is still necessary to create a 2.2 armor that contains the Dragon Country style. Inspired by the 9 sons of the dragon, the Kowloon armor was created. Prison Cattle, Yazzie, Mock Wind, Pulau, Swanee, Baxia, Wan, Negative Member, Kiss. Just hearing the name is enough to shock fans. Also in terms of technology, Mew Bai directly contributed 9 sets of nano armor. Update on nano warframe. Therefore, the 9 new Kowloon Sons battle armors will all have nanotechnology. The strength and appearance completely crushed the previous Zodiac armor. After an afternoon of careful polishing and design, Mew Bai started the broadcast again while the fans finished their dinner. In an instant, the mobile phones of millions of fans received live push notifications. Only 1 second after the broadcast started, the number of online viewers has reached tens of thousands. And these people are just fans hanging in the live broadcast room. I finally waited for you, but luckily I didn't give up. I finally waited for you, but luckily I didn't give up. I finally waited for you. Fortunately, I didn't give up. At the moment, the same subtitles filled the entire studio. All the fans are expressing their excitement. And what excites them most is the limited figure sold in the live broadcast room today. Except for the fans who watched the live broadcast room in the previous figure. There are many people who don't know about Iron Man's limited figures. So much so that an Iron Man limited figure on the internet has been fired to the point of tens of thousands of dollars. But even tens of thousands of dollars, it still can't stop the rich people and fanatical fans' desire to buy. Don't say anything. Let's do it first. Yes, we have waited so many days for today. How come the figure sold in the live broadcast room today is more than that of the previous few days? In order to buy figures, I deliberately bought a lot of accounts. The two of us upstairs have the same idea. Dude, did you come here for the figurines or for the Iron Man? A set of Iron Man figures online is so expensive now, I never imagined that someone would resell Iron Man as a gift. What's wrong with selling hands for a living? I don't want to rob you. That's right, we didn't say that selling figurines is equivalent to not supporting Iron Man. Although I sell figurines, I came just a second after Iron Man aired, but you came later than me by 1. You still have the face to talk about me. The figure is a special gift from Iron Man, which cannot be measured by money. I don't think your grade is too old, otherwise you wouldn't say such things. In an instant, the fans in the live broadcast room were divided into 2 waves. A wave of fans are very enthusiastic about the hands. I also fantasized about making money by selling figurines again. Another wave has its own beliefs. Absolutely will not do the act of selling figures. It is even condemning those fans who sell figurines as unworthy of coming to the live broadcast room. I saw the fans arguing fiercely. Mew Bai quickly appeared in the live broadcast room wearing the prisoner bull armor. Let the fans stop the civil war as soon as they come out. Instead, he became fascinated by the armor on Mew Bai. It's like a group of horny men suddenly see a beautiful woman taking a shower. What a cool armor, even cooler than the Zodiac armor last time. What new armor is this? It completely refreshed my understanding of armor. It's so handsome, several times more handsome than the previous armor. What's the use of being handsome? Such strength. What's the name of the armor? Is there a figure of the same armor? Hey, can you stop carrying your hands when you come up? This is not a store but Iron Man's live broadcast room. None of your business. The figure of this battle armor is recycled at a high price, starting at $20,000. Recycling all kinds of Iron Man figures at high prices. If you want to sell, click my avatar and add friends. I have all the figures of Iron Man here, add me as friends if you want. I haven't waited for Mubai to introduce the armor. There have been many vendors recycling handmade figures in the live broadcast room. The originally clean live broadcast room was made into a miasma. Mubai mercilessly kicked these traitors out of the studio and entered the list of permanent blacklist. This made the traitors who were still excited bewildered. I thought it was because the live broadcast room was too stuck. When I tried to go in again, I found that I had no permission. The merchants were instantly remorseful. I wanted to make a lot of money. As a result, I missed the precious opportunity to watch the battle armor of the Son of Nine Dragons. It's live on Iron Man. In the future, they can only savor it by watching other people's live clips. It felt like watching an idol concert on TV. The live broadcast room became much cleaner in an instant. Is Iron Man still a hacker? There are more than 10,000 people missing all of a sudden? And all of them are people in the live broadcast room calling for the acquisition of figures. Iron Man can even make a battle armor that can blow the sky, so it's so strange to have hacking skills. Yes, brother is indeed omnipotent in the field of technology, and can even permanently paralyze the United States system. One sentence makes myself stand in the highest field of science and technology. Strong strength makes fans respect you even more. They are proud to be your fans. Speed. Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 440. Crit psychokinesis plus 10 by 2, current psychokinesis, 40. Super crit. God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 640. What is this armor called? This die-hard fan named Iron Man asked very well, and rewarded a figure of the same model. Damn it, it was sent out so quickly. Damn, why didn't I just ask one more question? Deleted. Let me post. If I hadn't been too addicted to watching the battle armor just now, I might have been the first person to ask a question. I typed halfway, and I was preempted. I finished typing and almost sent it. What a pity. The armor I wear now is called Prisoner Bull Armor, which contains elements of the Dragon Kingdom. It is one of the 9 sons of the Dragon armor. Dragon Kingdom elements. The 9 sons of the Dragon? Only 8 characters. Enough to make the live broadcast room boil. Especially after the fans of Dragon Kingdom saw it. Directly regard Mubai as the patron saint of the Dragon Kingdom. It was also said just now that it can permanently paralyze the United States system. Now the Dragon Kingdom has enough strength to crush the United States. According to this, there are still 8 armors that have not been unveiled today. Dragon's 9 Sons battle armor, just hearing the name is domineering. What are the weapons of the armor? The Dragon's 9 Sons armor is completely different from the previous armors. It adopts nanotechnology, and its strength and appearance are far superior to all previous armors. There is nothing to say about weapons. Each armor is equipped with at least 20 kinds of weapons, and it can also switch forms at will, which is enough to be described as the strongest technology on Earth. A few words made the fans in the live broadcast room widen their eyes. Everyone is very excited after listening to the battle armor you describe. They can see the strongest technology on Earth. They feel that this life is worth it. Those fans who were kicked out couldn't see the 9 sons of the Dragon armor, and they probably fainted in the toilet from crying. Speed? Force plus 10 by 2, current speed of light, 460. Crit psychokinesis plus 10 by 2, current psychokinesis, 60. Super crit. God's perspective plus 10 by 2, current God's perspective, 660. Can you let us see the power of seeing? Due to the limited space, too much power can easily damage the flowers and plants, so only a small part can be displayed. It's not too late to show you all when Thanos comes. The voice just fell. The prisoner bull armor quickly switched forms. Then, along with a large number of gifts and weapons, they also appeared in unison. Then, the other 9 sons of dragon armors were revealed one after another. It can be said to feast the eyes of fans. The bullet screens were typed out one after another. Iron Man, I'm little sister Di, can you follow me? Little girl, it's the first time I've seen you take the initiative. Normal, who wouldn't want to be the woman that Iron Man pays attention to? If Iron Man can pay attention to me, I can do anything. The barrage is still talking about who Iron Man will pay attention to in the end. 303. And Mew Bai is ready for the grand finale. Next, it's time for fan benefits. When they heard about the fan benefits, they were more excited than waiting to win the lottery. I saw a lot of fans selling my figures online. I understand the phenomenon. It's nothing more than trying to make some quick money or get more people to own Iron Man figures. Listen to Mew Bai's speech. Some die-hard fans in the live broadcast room uttered bold words. I swear, Iron Man, that I will never sell your figure, nor will I sell my wife. I won't swear, but if my home was hit by a natural disaster, I'd definitely take the Iron Man figure with me before leaving. My daughter can't leave it every day, and our family prays to the Iron Man figure every day. The Iron Man figure is one of the most precious things in my life. Okay fans, I know you all love me, but the figurine is just a toy, don't go crazy. A figurine is not a life, it's just a doll made out of rubber clay, it's not worth your obsession. A piece of advice from my brother: if something happens that threatens your life, please give up the idea of fleeing with your figurines. Accompanying your family is more important than collecting figurines. If selling figurines can help you survive a period of economic crisis, then act decisively. One sentence wakes up the fascinated fans. They wanted to express their respect for you through figurines. On the contrary, you have transmitted the true meaning of the figure. All fans in the live broadcast room become die-hard fans. Speed: Force plus 10 by 2. Current speed of light: 480. Crit psychokinesis plus 10 by 2. Current psychokinesis: 80. Super crit. God's perspective plus 10 by 2. Current God's perspective: 680.